gets home safely.
We also take great pride in supporting our local community programs and teams. Good luck to everyone this season and in the year ahead.
Visit nextgentransportation.com.
Your old furnace can die in the blink of an eye, so why take that chance this winter? Eric Mikowski here, head of the family at Furnace Family. The time for a new furnace is now. Not only will you have peace of mind on those cold winter nights, you will save money on those super expensive gas bills. Unsure? Furnace Family can come check your furnace, and if you buy a new one from us, the check is free. Daikin has an industry-leading lifetime warranty on their heat exchangers. It could be the last furnace you ever buy. Visit furnacefamily.com. Jingle time.
Done right, day or night, furnacefamily.com.
Sports Radio is back.
In the early going as he is hindered his losing streak, puts it back in, side of the net, and it'll be Kulak moving the puck.
The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
In over the cast and the wrap. Now Loveless. He's got Eckler. And Eckler's got the sideline. And Eckler got a touchdown. Austin Eckler from 39 yards out.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Six, 1-1. It is Little on the line. Left field and gone. Adolis Garcia makes his statement. And the Rangers have their sights set on Game 7.
Separated.
Hey! The man you disrespecting me. Take him out.
You gotta keep them separated.
Hey! Don't pay no mind. We're under 18 and we'll be doing anytime. Hey! Come out and play!
A tremendous Tuesday afternoon. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440. Also coming to you live, Oilers Nation YouTube. Always happy to have you along for the ride. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And somebody on Friday was the big winner. $50 million in Lotto Max. And so tonight's draw, 13 mil, which pretty sure would still be all right. Tomorrow, the gold ball jackpot, 28 million. And get all that as well. You want to bet on games and everything else, stay within your limit at PlayAlberta.ca. We have a jam-packed show for you today. Lots to discuss around the NHL, of course. CFL, the finalists for player awards are out. We'll update you on that. We're also going to talk a little basketball. We didn't really get into it yesterday, the James Harden trade. We'll get into that. The Ottawa Senators. So they made it. They traded Dadonov in the summer of 2021. The summer of 2021. And then to Vegas. And then at the trade deadline in March of 2022, Vegas looked to move him to Anaheim. Announced the trade. Dadonov's like, no, Anaheim's on my no trade list. Trade didn't happen. This was in 2022, in March. We're in November of 2023. That is 20 months later. And today the NHL decides that Ottawa, because a trade they made in the summer of 21, they didn't have the no trade list for Dadonov on there. So you're telling me in 8 months, like no one in Vegas, there would ever be a conversation, like even Dadonov's agent? Like, I don't know. Like this is a first round selection? Seriously? Seems rather harsh. They hide all this from the current owner in Ottawa. Did you see Andlauer's comments already? He didn't know about this. He didn't know about the Pinto thing when he was looking to acquire the team. Quote, well, maybe they're just hoping the seller would get top value. You think? Also today, the Senators, I guess they were waiting. You know what? Once this comes out, Dorian's done. So Dorian, like, let's be honest, we all knew the minute Steve Staios would hire there that Dorian was on thin ice. It was only a matter of time before he get let go. So he's out. I think DJ Smith is on thin ice now as the head coach. No question. It's a new GM. Ottawa had high expectations. We'll see where they go. So, we'll talk a little bit about that. I just explain to me. So did Ottawa purposely? So they didn't include a no trade list? Or they didn't include the teams that were on it? I don't know, like over 2 years ago. Seems odd to me. Today, Dave McCarthy will be by. Yaremchuk. Pete Jensen will join us at 3:20. No, who is it Wednesday? Or who is it Wednesday? Guest canceled last minute, unfortunately, and a little too late to get somebody to commit for an entire hour. But I already have next Wednesday's guest that you are very much going to like. It's going to be awesome. The next few Wednesdays actually are lined up, so it'll be great. Mike Rupp will be by, as always does on Wednesdays. We'll have Help Your Neighbor, your chance to qualify, win yourself some great prizes, and most importantly, you're going to gift someone a brand new high-efficiency furnace, courtesy of Legacy Heating and Cooling. Spec will be by. Paul Sir will talk a little basketball. We'll get your thoughts, as always. You can share them with us, 833-401-1440 in our Jiffy Lube inbox, which is already filling up. Show's just started. I love it. People are just waiting. They're just waiting. I like it. Also, how was your Halloween? I hope it was great. It's really kind of hit or miss depending on some people and where you live. Some people were like, yeah, last year we had lots of kids. This year, not as many. It was a nice evening for trick-or-treating. You can't ask for, like, it wasn't too cold. I know there was some kids who had been out there for 2.5 hours and their hands were a little chilly. Nothing crazy. Didn't stop them from staying out there. So I'll say this. Was it chilly? Sure. Was it cold to the point of uncomfortable? No, because they kept trick-or-treating, as they should. This is a once a year, man. You're not feeling well? This is where you become Michael Jordan and you play through the pain. You play through the sickness. You play through the cold. And that's what kids do. Many Michael Jordans around the trick-or-treating activities last night. Playing through the pain. Hey, you need to. When it's Halloween. You know it. You could miss school today, but you can't miss Halloween. It's just how it goes. My son actually trick-or-treated in his shorts. Idiot. But no, he loves his shorts. So he went as Mbappe. And so he had the whole outfit and everything. He's like, Dad, can't wear leggings. They don't wear leggings. I'm like, all right. So away he went. So I guess you got to stay authentic to the costume. We'll see. Also, if we have some time, I had a one-on-one interview today with Cody Cece. We'll either play today or tomorrow on the show. Cece off to a really solid start on the back end for the Edmonton Oilers, and kind of ask why. We did get into the system, and he just said, you know what, man, it doesn't really matter what the system is. You execute, and we didn't execute early on. Thank you. Now, they did switch back. Maybe they can execute better. They feel more comfortable, whatever. But early on, they didn't execute as well as they should have. The month of October is done and gone. Now we're into November. I will say this. We should have a question for you today, Oiler fans. Oilers have played 8 games. They are 2-5-1. What game number do you think they will be back to 500? Which could be 5-5-2 at best case scenario. Or 5-5-1, excuse me. Right? As many wins. And actually, I guess that's a 500 points percentage. It would be better to say how many games until the Oilers have won as many as they lost. And I include overtime losses in that. That's a loss. Did you get a win? You did not. You got a loss. Now, it might be the Gary Bettman special, but it's still a loss. They played 8 games. They've won 2, which is not great. Now, if they win their next 4, then they'd be at 500. 6 wins out of 12. If they win all 4, then technically they're 6-5-1, but they've still won 6 out of 12. So how many games do you think before the Oilers get back to official as many wins as losses? Let me know. Text in 833-401-1440. They play Dallas tomorrow, who's in Calgary tonight. They got Nashville on Saturday afternoon. They also have Vancouver next Monday. The Canucks have beat them twice already this season. Then they're in San Jose on Thursday and Seattle the following Saturday. Those are their next 5 games. Curious what people think. What's your confidence level in your team? I'd be very curious to know. So there you have it. I think I said Tuesday off the top of the show. It's actually Wednesday. What an idiot. So yeah. Thanks for letting me know. Yes, is indeed Wednesday, not Tuesday. Tough one. Tough start to the show. So good news. It's kind of like the Oilers season. I'll be better the rest of the show. The Oilers, you look back, I won't be surprised if October is their worst month of the season. Actually, I'd be shocked if it wasn't, because I don't think they're that bad of a team. And I know there's a lot of angst. Well, maybe not a lot. There's some angst. There's some frustration. It's leading to some just absolutely ridiculous suggestions on what the Oilers should be doing right now. And I get it. And some people like to overreact when the team's not playing great. But I look at the Oilers. I think they'll go 4-0-1, 4-1-0, or 5-0 in their next 5. The schedule sets up in their favor. I expect a victory tomorrow night against Dallas. Nashville, they pretty much beat for fun. Right, the Vancouver game, hey, you can't count out the Canucks, man. That's probably their, that's a tough game. San Jose, I'm sorry. That could be a one game where if there's anybody who's not going, they'll get going offensively that game. Honestly, the Sharks, I don't know if you've watched their games, but they are bad. They're really bad. And I don't see how suddenly they're going to start scoring goals. They just don't have a lot of offense on that team. They don't have a lot of defensemen on that team. Definitely not a lot of top 4 defensemen on that team. So it is going to be a tough sledding for them for sure. Also, Cons, I guess I want to get your thoughts. First of all, the Ottawa Dorians let go. That can't be a surprise to anyone. I guess it's interesting that he gets let go on the day that the NHL announces that the Ottawa has to forfeit a first-round pick in either 2024, 2025, or 2026.
Yeah, very, very surprising to hear that one, right? Kind of a coincidence the way it works out that way, I'm sure, but...
No, I don't think it's a coincidence at all.
He let this happen? Okay, see ya. We've got a guy in the building, and Steve Staios who can handle it on the interim basis. When would you take it? Would you say, 2026? At that point, we hope to be heading into the second, third round of the playoffs. It'll be later in the draft. Or do you get it out of the way?
Well, I think it all depends on where they're picking.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have to announce it. They don't have to announce their intentions on which year they're going to give it up. They'll get to the 2024 draft, and I think they have to announce it 48 hours before the draft. Isn't that what I read? So maybe I'm wrong. And then so the league knows, okay, you don't have the blank pick. If you're the Ottawa Senators and you win a round of the playoffs this year, then I would let it go, because that means you're giving up 24th to 38th pick, 32nd pick. That's what I would do. 25th to 32nd. That's what I would do if I was the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, there would be some risk there for sure. If something were to happen and things do go wrong in that final year and you were to have a higher up pick, you're not going to want to risk that. So I'm with you. Yeah, if it's second half of the draft, let it be done, move on, especially if you do find that next general manager of the future. If it isn't going to be Steve Staios, there are some reports out there that there's some familiar names to Edmonton hockey fans. I don't know how true they are, but yeah.
Peter Chiarelli?
Yeah. I've seen that floating around on social media.
Yeah.
Remember, it's social media.
Yeah, no. Well, his name was out there for a while ago, but I don't, it's not anything that I would look at. So,
no.
We'll see. I don't see why Steve Staios isn't just going to be the GM. It's kind of like, remember Dubas said, hey, I'm the intern GM. And then how long did it last? And then he's the GM, right? I think that's what's going to happen in Ottawa. I think it's an interim one. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they hire another one, but for some reason, I think it's going to be Steve Staios. That is my gut. So, and here's the other thing though for Ottawa: if you limit yourself, if they ever want to be competitive, like in 25 or 26, you're better off to give it up right now, because then that's a trade chip you don't have at the deadline in 25 or 26. So that's why I think there's a very good chance. Lots of votes coming in. Hey, boys, Bones says game 14. AZ says it's going to be 20 games. Wow. There you go. Boys, easy stretch coming up. Well, at least relatively easy from High Prairie. Saying 14 games. Hey, Greg, you know you're listening to a great sports broadcast when they can cover trick-or-treating. So fun. You have to play through the pain to be rewarded with candy. I love it. From Dennis, still a Browns fan. Well, it's true, man. I know for a fact there were some kids who were a little bit under the weather, and it was Halloween, and they're like, no, I'm going. And usually my son, if he says he's not feeling well, and there's like, oh, I'm not feeling well enough to go to school, but geez, if we have hockey that night, then I'm suddenly feeling better. It's like, well, if you don't go to school, you probably can't go to hockey tonight. And then usually magically, unless they're really sick, then they go to school. So to me, now trick-or-treating, it's a once-a-year thing. If my son or daughter was ailing and it was Halloween and they said they wanted to try it, I'd let them try it. It's a once-a-year event. Different than school. Once a year, baby. I like it. So, hey, Gregor, what if they traded all their first rounders over that time period? Tim, they can't. They have to give up a 24 or 25 or 26. They have to. So when they make trades, if they trade two of them, then they know they can't trade the other one because that's the one they're forfeiting. It's not an option. The league won't approve a trade if, let's say, they've already traded the 25th and 26th, and then magically they're going to try to trade the 24th, or obviously it wouldn't work that way. It'd probably work the other ways. It's not going to happen. So they're going to have to give it up. And man, the NHL has made some really head-scratching decisions. This one's right at the top. Right at the top. Anaheim and Vegas are obviously upset about it. They didn't like how it played out. But, come on. You lose a first-rounder. Now, I guess, did they purposefully withhold information? Like, if you're trading him to Vegas, why? Like, what would be the big deal of including that he has a no trade list? You know what I mean? Like, so if it was an innocent error, why is that a first round pick? That's what I don't understand. Like, this didn't seem like such a crazy thing. Hey, we traded the guy, which was legal. You could have traded him to Vegas, but then we didn't include the no trade list with, I don't know. Seems like what would be the benefit for Ottawa to do it is my point. They've already traded the player. He was going to Vegas. Like, what would be the gain for them? We're going to screw them over. We're not going to include it. So, I don't. So, to me, now the only thing is, unless they lied about it, right? And so my question would be, why? Why would you do that? Like, lying's never good. Anybody out there, we've all lied probably at some point, unless you're some saint. Good on you. But most people have lied at some point in your life. And sometimes, you lie about like the dumbest things. You're just like, why? Why would I do that? So why would Ottawa, if indeed it's true, why would they lie? The trade was made. Who cares if he has a 10-team no trade list? Are they suddenly not going to acquire him in July? You don't just acquire a player, hope, well, geez, we're not sure. We got to be able to make sure we can give him away. Like, I don't know. It was, if they actually did withhold it purposefully, then Dorian, you know what? Deserves to be fired. Because that is something you don't need to lie about at all in the moment. I don't get it. At the same time, though, like, if you're the agent, don't you ever talk to the GM in Vegas about it? Hey, just, I don't know. I guess it would have to come up in conversation, but maybe it would. I have no idea. So we'll see. Take a quick break. Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM will join us next. We'll talk Sens. We'll talk Buffalo Sabres. Charlie McAvoy suspension. He's out for 4 games. And, some pressure. It's early. It's now November, baby. Now the pressure starts to ramp up a little bit. Slow starts. You can tell yourself it's October, but it's not anymore. Now it's November. There's a few teams that need to get rolling. Discuss them next on The Gregor Show, presented by Play Alberta. .ca coming to you live, as always, in the eWell studio, EWEL.ca for all your electrical needs.
A solid financial plan is made up of more than just investments. Investments are an important part, but you need a more comprehensive approach. Roger Weird at Weird Pearson Akel & Associates Private Wealth Management understands that. He can help build a plan that includes retirement, estate planning, personal insurance, tax strategies, and yes, investments. Talk to him today and see the difference a real financial plan makes. Weird Pearson Akel & Associates. Call 780-988-4119 or visit weirdadvisoryteam.com.
Ding, ding. The champ is back in the ring going toe-to-toe with the best flocking chicken wing special in town, only at the Canadian Brewhouse. A minimum 1 pound order ain't no problem for the champ when they're only 69 cents all day Wednesday and all day Sunday. 2 days to enjoy one unbeatable offer on wings. With featured wing flavors of the month, Wednesday and Sundays just became a very serious wing thing. Both days, all day, 69 cents only at the Canadian Brewhouse.
Are you ready to light up your game like Edmonton lights up the ice? Then choose eWell. Electrical Wholesalers Edmonton Limited offers lightning fast service. Just like your favorite forward, they deliver your electrical supplies in record time. Plus winning quality. They only stock the best. And don't forget about their all-star support. When it comes to customer service, they're the playmakers. So don't sit in the dark. Make the power play and visit eWell today. Online at ewel.ca, where excellence in electrical meets the heart of hockey.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit bieeng.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
for furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
How do we do it? Well, at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we invest. Our money and time goes right back into technology and training, and it's all designed to get you back into shape. We invest in people, the people who really care, and they understand how your body works. Then they combine their experience, training, and skills to work with you to help you solve your issues, be it pain in the back, neck, arm, shoulder, heel, literally head to toe. Leading Edge Physiotherapy, always taking new patients because we keep fixing the old ones. Life shouldn't hurt. Find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. At Mr. Rooter, they only employ the finest organic, grain-fed, free-range plumbers. For all your plumbing needs, go to mrrooter.ca.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.223 on Sports 1440 live on Orders Nation YouTube. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you are having a lovely day. Right now, ranges anywhere from 12 games to 20 before the Oilers get back to what we say is an even 500, as many wins as total losses. Currently 2-6 to start the season. As I mentioned, I won't be surprised at the end of the year if you look back that October was the Oilers' worst month of the year. Obviously, it's going to be hard to be worse. So that's one thing. But I expect they will play much better for sure. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day today. Brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. If you're looking for exciting AJHL action, go to sprucegrovesaints.ca. It's where you can get your tickets as the Saints, after a little bit of a slow start by their standards, things are heating up for them. And now they're starting to roll a little bit. On the road this weekend for a rare 3-3. That just doesn't happen very often in the AJHL anymore. But their next home game is Friday the 10th, and get your tickets at sprucegrovesaints.ca. So they play in Drumheller Friday, in Okotoks on Saturday, and then in Calgary on Sunday afternoon. So the dreaded 3 and 2.5 days, which happens every now and then in the AJHL and in the WHL, but not nearly as much as it used to. Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM usually joins us on Tuesday, but we're happy to have him this week on Wednesday. And good timing, Dave, because there's a few more stories around the NHL. Dave, have you done anything wrong 2 years ago that you want to own up to now that you think you should probably get punished for? Because I just don't understand why this happened today, right? When the trade originally was in July of 21. Then then Vegas tried to trade Dadonov in 2022, which is still, what's that, 20 months ago. And it's only now that the punishment comes out. Explain to me, Dave, why? Why?
Yeah, it's really puzzling. Not to the best of my recollection can I think of anything that I did wrong 2 years ago that has punishment pending. So thankfully, I think I'm in the clear. But what I will say, you played Magical Mystery Tour coming into the segment, Gregor. I feel like Michael Andlauer feels like he's on a mystery tour. It may not be magical, but a mystery tour himself. What with the shrapnel that he takes from an incident that occurred 2 years ago in the Dadonov situation, the Pinto investigation into sports wagering, he said he was not made privy to either prior to finalizing his purchase for the team. So I wouldn't be all that thrilled about that if I was Michael Andlauer, because it certainly would have provided him an opportunity to leverage the price of the franchise down a little bit. Now, the counter to that would be that if Andlauer and his team did their due diligence properly, I hope they asked in advance of finalizing the purchase agreement, hey, are there any investigations for whatever reason that might be pending against the franchise right now? I mean, you could take the defense if you're the National Hockey League and say, well, nobody asked us, so we didn't tell. If he asked and it wasn't disclosed, then I think he would have a real case to really, really not be happy with the decision. But in saying all that, I'm surprised that it's punishment that took this long to levy. It is harsh punishment, to be sure. And now really what was a no good, very bad, awful week for the Senators last week continues into a second week. And I guess this gave finally cause to make a change at general manager, because, I mean, if anything's a fireable offense, simply not conducting the paperwork properly in a trade is about as close to one as I think you can get.
Yeah, because we have a lot of people wondering, if isn't there a trade, don't you automatically have to submit the no trade list? Like, I don't know. Like, it would have been great to maybe have an explanation in your press release. Like, I know that's asking a lot, Dave. Transparency, like, shocking.
Mm-hmm.
But, the NHL doesn't seem to be high in the list. So Dorian gets let go today, which, was this the final straw? Maybe. I'm sure the new owner's like, what? Now I'm giving up a first-round selection? Okay, see ya. I think we all knew that Dorian was on thin ice anyway, the minute Steve Staios was hired. So is Steve Staios the next Dubas? It says interim GM, and then eventually he's going to be the GM.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, Steve Staios is a guy that's had a lot of experience running junior hockey teams, as he did with Michael Andlauer in the Ontario Hockey League. running a National Hockey League team is an entirely different kettle of fish. Certainly from the presidential role, right? Where there's a lot more off the ice, so to speak, if you want to use that term, responsibilities that fall under that role, right? Like schmoozing with sponsors, finding sponsorships, sales, the whole 9 yards, right? That goes beyond the purview of just simply figuring out the 18 players that you want on your roster to go on the ice every night. So does he take on both jobs on a permanent basis? I'd be a little surprised if that was the case.
Okay.
I would be, just because that's a lot to ask of a guy that doesn't have a ton of experience running a team at the National Hockey League level. You look in Toronto, to use another example, Brendan Shanahan, when he was brought in as president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, sure, he has final call ultimately on roster decisions, but he's not the guy with his hands on the wheel of the day-to-day machinations of the roster, nor do I think he has any interest in doing so. I think he enjoys playing much more the corporate type role where it's managing up, so to speak, to ownership rather than managing down to your roster. And of course, he's brought in general managers to fill that role. Does Steve Staios have the desire to take on both? Again, that would surprise me, just because it's a lot of work. And there's a lot of things to get done in Ottawa right now as they look to continue to try to move toward a new building and get a project there underway. That's a whole set of responsibilities. Again, building up the business portfolio of the team that requires some work now under Andlauer. Now that he's come on board, add into that worrying about the roster on a day-to-day basis. I just don't see that as a long-term tenable solution.
Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM joins us. So, Davey, now we're into November. It's still early. Lots of teams haven't played 10 games, but I think Ottawa's firing today suggests that, you know what? Hey, there's certain places where the couch is a little bit hotter than others. I do think DJ Smith, I won't be stunned if he's far behind, if Ottawa doesn't get going here. Like, they're 4-4, right? He's been there a long time. It's a new GM who never hired him. We all know how that works out. And plus the record at the end of the day, if the Ottawa Senators don't get going here and start winning some games, I think he could be the next to go. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the next week.
Well, I'll put it this way. I'd give it to American Thanksgiving. I mean, that tends to be, I find, the benchmark that teams use when they come into a season with high expectations, but coaches that are very clearly on the hot seat. Again, to use a Toronto example, when Mike Babcock got let go, it was just after Hall of Fame weekend, like 5 days before American Thanksgiving. And that was a situation where they begrudgingly kept Babs that summer. And it was clear that his leash was very short in terms of the start that they got off to that year. And that year in 2019, they didn't get off to a very good start. And ultimately they pulled the trigger. So, here we sit on November the 1st. Senators, very much like the Leafs back in 19, come into the year with expectations, right? You can't keep telling me, if you're the Senators higher ups, management, ownership, what a great young roster we've got here, and then you come into every year, and then by American Thanksgiving, it's pack up shop and go home, because the first 6 weeks have sunk our season. It would have been conceivable to make a change behind the bench for Ottawa in the off season. I think, right? Like if they decided to do that then, I don't think anybody really would have been surprised, but clearly they're giving DJ Smith one more kick at the can to try to get the most out of this roster. But make no mistake, this is a year in which Ottawa still intends to compete. So if it looks like it's going off the rails in the next, say, 14 to 21 days, you get to a point where if you don't make a move immediately, the season can become unsalvageable. So I would suggest the next 2 to 3 weeks of utmost importance, not just from a competition standpoint in Ottawa, in terms of where the season is going to go, but also for the security of DJ Smith's job.
Looking at a few other teams, the New York Rangers are off to an excellent start. Excellent start. Offensively, they're good. Panarin's great. Their power play is outstanding. Defensively, they're not giving up much.
What a roadie, too. 5 for 5.
First time ever in their
Shocking.
franchise history that they won, which shows you it's tough to win all 5 on a road trip at any point. But, they've been around the league a pretty long time, since 1928. So it's a long time. Where are you on the Rangers at the start of the year? A lot of us thought, okay, you know what? The Rangers could be good. We'll see if Kakko and Lafreniere can take a step. Everybody liked their goaltending. Everybody liked their blue line. Their top 4 is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you on the Rangers and Kakko and Lafreniere?
Just okay, I would say to this point. Like, I was hoping this would be the year where the two of those guys really take a significant step forward to becoming unquestionably impact players. That's desperately what the Rangers need, because, I was pointing this out on my show for the last year or two. It feels like just yesterday, the Rangers sent out that infamous letter to season ticket holders signifying they were going to go into a rebuild. And that was 2018. So not that long ago, but getting on. And now they're in a position where if you look at their top guys, the Kreiders, the Panarins, the Zibanejads, the Trubas, like they're getting into their 30s. It's not a long window for chances to take kicks at a Stanley Cup, like it is, for instance, in the team that resides across the Hudson River, the New Jersey Devils. Like they're going to have 8-10 kicks at it if they want to, and they can continue to keep their roster together based on the age of that team. The Rangers have like 2 or 3 kicks left, I think, at most, before their top guys just come to a point in their career where they start to resemble the guys that currently constitute the roster in the Washington Capitals, for instance. So that's why they bring in a guy like Peter Laviolette, a guy that doesn't tend to have a lot of staying power as a head coach, but tends to have immediate success as a head coach. That's why they brought him in, because they know, like, we're not interested in a coach who's going to be here for 5-6 years. We need a guy that's going to put us in a position to win over the next 2 or 3. And what would really help is if Lafreniere and Kaapo Kakko, who were really the 2 prized acquisitions as a result of the plan to endure some short-term pain, for them to transform into a next wave of talent that's bringing another level of depth to this group. If they can do that, they're going to be in really good shape. Case in point, I watched up close last night, the LA Kings. Arthur Kaliev and Quinn Byfield looked like really effective players.
Huh.
Like guys that look like, you know what, okay, they had a couple of weird years with COVID and the shortened schedule and non-traditional dynamics and all of that, where their development's interrupted. But they look this year like, man, they've really taken a step. And talking to some folks from LA, like it wasn't just last night. They've looked like that all throughout the year. That's really going to drive the Kings forward, similar, right, to the Rangers that have that older group of the Kopitars and the Dowdies and guys that have been around for a little while, but they need that next injection to help those older guys out. It's looking like it's happening in LA with the Kings. They've been okay, Lafreniere and Kaapo Kakko to this point, but I'd still like to see another step taken there. And if they can, then I think the Rangers are really talking.
Are you, you look at it's early on. Vegas and Colorado, a lot of people say, hey, those two are wagon teams, no question. Are you buying the Boston Bruins? They're 8-0-1, right? They're plus 15. They've outscored teams 29-14. Are you a believer that the Bruins are a legit wagon, or are you skeptical because of their center ice position?
I don't know about legit wagon at this point. I mean, you do have to keep in mind their schedule at the beginning of the year might have been as easy as they could have come up with. Like if Jim Montgomery and Don Sweeney and Cam Neely had been called into the schedule makers room in the summertime, the schedule maker said, you know what, look, you just lost Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci, so we're going to throw you guys a bone here. You pick the teams that you'd like to pick, that you'd like to play your first 6 or 7 or 8 games. That might have been who they picked. That's not what happened. But it's I just don't want people to start going on now, because we know how some people like to come up with scenarios and run with it, and it's utter bollocks, and yet for whatever reason people believe it. So that's not what happened. But you wouldn't be shocked if that's what did, because that's how easy their schedule was. Nonetheless, you win the games that are in front of you, and they've done so. But I never thought they were going to crater. I really didn't. They've still got a quality roster. And some of the guys that they lost, like they lost Taylor Hall for cap reasons. They brought in James Van Riemsdyk, and he's been pretty effective. So it's been almost a wash there. Right now, Charlie Coyle, Pavel Zacha, they're playing not bad up the middle of the ice. And, I talked to Sheldon Keefe today because the Leafs are going to face Boston tomorrow. And I asked him what he thought of the Bruins. And he said, I'm not, like, you're surprised, but you're not really surprised, because he said their blue line is still fairly intact to what it was last year, albeit McAvoy's going to begin a 4-game suspension. Matt Grzelcyk's on LTIR, but they'll get back eventually. If they can, hold the fort without them, they'll be fine. He said their goaltending is among the best in the league. So he said when you can have quality goaltending and a solid back end and build from the back out, that gives you a chance to win game in and game out. And they're like, let's not forget, David Pasternak's still kicking around, and he's 5th in the league in scoring right now. Brad Marchand's point a game, and he holds guys to a high standard. It's not exactly like they've got nobody up front. So I think Boston's going to be a playoff team. Are they going to have 65 wins? Like, because they're actually off, Gregor, to a better start than they were through 9 games last year when they won 65. They were 8-1-0 last year. They're 8-0-1 this year. So technically better. Technically better. They're going to be a playoff team, I think. I don't think they're going to win 65. But I also think come trade deadline time, they're going to be able to go out and look to fill that hole up the middle of the ice. And if they can do that, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape.
Dave, what was your favorite Halloween candy as a kid? And what was your favorite one now?
Well, I think I was talking about it with you at the end of last week's show. Rockets, those little colored.
Oh, you like the Rockets?
Yeah. We always, what we did as kids, we called them energy tablets for whatever reason. When we were playing mini sticks outside in the park at recess, you'd pop a couple of those energy tablets and you felt like you got a little bit of a boost. So love those. And now, can you go wrong with a Kit Kat? Like, really, who doesn't like Kit Kat bars? Even if you're not a big sweets guy, if that's sitting there on the counter, you might graze by and grab that and just take a bite.
Now, have you ever tried a Kit Kat in the United States? Because people were telling me yesterday online that they do have Kit Kats in the States, but it's different. It's different chocolate.
Really? No, I haven't. Is it like you can taste it? Like if I blind taste tested you right now, you'd be able to pick it?
No, I've never had one, so I'm asking.
Okay, no, I haven't. But no, that makes sense. Like there's a variety of different things that are the same thing, but taste different in one country than the other. Case in point, you have a Guinness in Ireland, tastes very different when you have a Guinness in Canada. Not necessarily better.
Yes. No, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. Davey, have yourself a great one. We will talk to you next Tuesday.
Okay, buddy. I'll see you.
That's Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM joins us usually every Tuesday. We had to switch this week to Wednesdays. When we return, we'll go deep in the Edmonton Oilers. Sam Gagner, number 89, is back. Where's he going to play? We'll find out next. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I got into reffing for the excitement.
He's going for the chair.
Turns out wrestling is completely scripted. But you know what's exciting and unscripted? PlayAlberta.ca. With an all-new sportsbook, odds boosts, and betting on any game.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today with promo code SPORTS50 and get a $50 free bet. Official gaming partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
First Round is Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Get in the game and watch NFL football this season at First Round. And you'll have a chance to win a trip to your favorite NFL city to watch a game in person next season. And the hits keep on coming with food and drink specials, big screen TVs, and more. Catch the Pro Bowl brunch every Sunday, Monday Night Football, and head in Thursdays for your chance to win an NFL replica helmet. NFL at First Round. Burgers, beer, sports. Downtown West Edmonton Mall and at 1strmd.ca.
At Wolf GMC Buick, all Denali's are on sale. Terrain, Acadia, Sierra, Yukon, all Denali's are on sale. Get special 0% financing for 48 months on all remaining Sierra Denali half-tons because all Denali's are on sale. I'm not kidding. Every in-stock 2023 GMC Denali is on sale. All Denali's are on sale. Hurry into Wolf GMC Buick for the best selection. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy because all Denali's are on sale.
Mr. Rooter visits the dentist.
Well, you're all done there, Mr. Rooter. You can spit in the sink.
Hey, Doc, you got a clog here.
Oh, no.
Don't worry about it. I got it. It looks like a long piece of floss with something tied to the end. Well, why don't you check it out?
Oh, why? It's a birthday card.
You didn't think I'd forget you, did you?
Mr. Rooter, you're the kindest, weirdest man.
To have the plumbing cavity in your heart filled, trust only one man, Mr. Rooter.
At The Brick, we're not just proud of this city and its rich sports history. We're proud partners of it. The Brick started right here in Edmonton over 50 years ago. And when we're not cheering on the Oilers and Oil Kings live at the game, or the Edmonton Elks under the bright stadium lights, we're in our stores, providing everything you need to cheer them on in your home. The Brick, supporting Edmonton sports teams and fans since 1971, saving you more.
It's an action-packed weekend of Oil Kings hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Friday night, your Edmonton Oil Kings take on the Moose Jaw Warriors.
Then it's a special Sunday 6 p.m. puck drop versus the Medicine Hat Tigers. Family fun Sunday, featuring face painting and kids fun zone before the game.
Plus, at every Oil Kings home game, score Kids Do combos for $10 or less.
Edmonton, Moose Jaw, Friday at 7.
Oil Kings, Tigers, 6 p.m. Sunday.
Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day-of-game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
I've won my fantasy league 7 years in a row. Something we get to hear about every weekend. And he stops at nothing to win. I have my techniques.
Oh, yeah. Like the time you got us all plastered the night before draft.
Or the time you sent yo mama jokes to me until I agreed to your trade. But every year, I take my winnings and buy everyone Wilhauk beef jerky.
Wilhauk beef jerky, because you don't win friends with salad.
That's the only reason why I'm still talking to you. Yo mama still talks to me too.
In Leduc, Spruce Grove, and West Edmonton Mall.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa Service Department is there for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:47. How are you? Welcome back. Wednesday edition of the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, live Oilers Nation YouTube. From Spruce Grove Rick, brother of Leduc Dan. Hey guys, did you see the video of Celine Dion taking pics with the Canadians? Reminds me of the snub from Struds. Oh, hey, that's another classic story. Like, very few things that will irritate the Strud man, but that's one of them. Don't snub him. And really, who likes to get snubbed? It's never good. But Celine really kind of snubbed him. It's glad. But again, it was like, hey, this is Jason. He's from Canada. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure after a while you get sick of it because some American. Hey, do you know Pete from Sault Ste. Marie? And you're like, no, I live in Alberta. There's some Americans just think that every Canadian knows every other Canadian. That is quite comical at times. I don't think there's any question about that. Let's get to the oil report now, brought to you by VolvoCarsEdmonton.com, where right now all 2023 models, any make, any type, you want the S60, the XC90, you name it, You can get $5,000 off right now on any 2023 model at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com as Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation joins us. Very green background. This is looking like Shrek a little bit there, Ty. Very in the Halloween mode still. I like it. Sam Gagner, who has been a fan favorite in Edmonton for a long time. What's your expectations for 89?
First off, I thought maybe you wanted me to come on and do the weather, so I just made sure I had my green screen behind me so I could point everything out. I think with Gagner, I mean, if he can come in and be a positive player on the fourth line, that's a win, because I wasn't getting that from Adam Ernie. And we were joking at Oilers Nation, like, oh, Gagner's just got to be better than Adam Ernie for the Oilers. And it's like, that's like picking between a kick in the junk and anything else, right? Like, Ernie wasn't giving him anything. He was playing 3.5 minutes. How could you expect him to give anything in that? Hopefully Gagner gets to play some minutes. Hopefully he can bring a bit of an offensive pulse to that bottom five, as Jay Woodcroft called it, because like Woodcroft said, Ernie's paying the price for a group of 5 guys who are not producing right now. If Gagner can come in and help that bottom 5 get even just a little bit productive, it's a win.
It was interesting today. It was like the top 5 because they had 5 forwards in white jerseys: McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Hyman, and Nugent-Hopkins. And then in the blue forward jerseys, there was Fogle, McLeod, Holloway, and then Gagner, Ryan, and Brown. And now I saw last game, it was, Ryan McLeod was essentially the fourth line center. And, they rotated guys in the third line. And so I wonder if, we'll see that a little bit. Warren Fogel's, tied for the team league in 5-on-5 goals. I see zero reason to demote him out of your top 6 right now, unless they're going to say, hey, we're going to try to get some other lines going. I don't know if they want Gagner and Ryan on the same line. We'll see. I think they want a little bit more offensive punch, is what Jay Woodcroft said from them. I know there's some people that are like, I shouldn't laugh, but I do chuckle at the overreaction to Connor Brown and, put him on waivers. Like it's ridiculous. I think Connor Brown, I talked to him yesterday. Like there's a player. I like guys when they're confident, not cocky, just says, hey, I haven't lost my hands. I haven't gone anywhere. The first 3 games, I wasn't very good. I was behind a step. Then I got my legs. I feel like I've been very close. Today in practice, looked like a guy who's like, if I score in practice, I'm scoring in a game. Like every chance he got, he was burying today. And it's something I watch for in practice. I think Connor Brown's ready for a breakout game. What do you think?
I agree with you 1,000%. I think the people who are doing the whole, like, put them on waivers, save the money, I think that is the dumbest possible thing you could do right now. And it's a great way to make sure every agent in the league hates you going forward. Also, the guy who signed this deal and got this bonus for Connor Brown's now running the team. Like, come on, it's dumb. I think Brown is primed for a breakout, and it ties into a little bit of what I would like to see Jay Woodcroft do with the Lions. I like McDavid, Draisaitl, and Fogle. I really liked Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, and Kane on a line. Evander Kane was buzzing. They were doing good things. And I want to put Connor Brown and even Dylan Holloway in a spot where they can succeed. I'd be running those 2 as your, in air quotes, extra forwards in the bottom 6. And I would just be playing them with McDavid and Draisaitl and even Nuge, whoever you're rotating through there, because Connor Brown looked good when he got a few minutes with Leon Draisaitl in the last game. He looked good when he got a few minutes with Connor McDavid. I think you need to commit to playing this guy with skill, ride out this little slump, unlucky streak he's going through, because the production's going to turn around for him. I really do believe that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it'll be fine. Like I did some number crunching. He had the 139th most goals amongst all NHL players over a 6-year span, and then he got injured. So you know what? That's a top 5 producing, consistent over a 6-year span forward on any team. So, it's not the top guys. And I think that's sometimes what a lot of us forget is, you take the top tier guys, but then, guys who can consistently score 18 to 20 goals, they're pretty valuable.
Oh, yeah. And again, like everyone wants to complain about the bonus that's going to kick in next year. This contract was about this year. It was about building as good of a team as you possibly could for this season. And Connor Brown at $775K, you weren't getting him if you didn't give him the bonus next year. So if you look at it for this year, he's still going to be a 15 to 20 goal guy for this team. He's still only going to cost you $775K against the cap. And again, all you had to spend this year was under $1 million on this roster spot. You weren't getting better than Connor Brown this year.
No. Tyler Yaremchuk joins us. The schedule over the next 5 here sets up very well for Edmonton. They're rested, they're having fun at practice. They take on a Dallas team that's third game in 4 nights, second half of a back-to-back. Doesn't guarantee you a win, but it gives you a big advantage going into Thursday's game. Then they got the one team that Leon Draisaitl can almost single-handedly beat himself in Nashville. Doesn't guarantee a win, but again, in their favor. The Vancouver game is the one that's interesting because the Canucks are playing well and they've already beat the Oilers twice. I would think the Oilers will go into that game fairly hot-headed. Doesn't mean they'll win. And then San Jose, I will guarantee a win. I don't care. The San Jose Sharks are terrible. They'll beat them. And Seattle has never matched up well against the Oilers. So, like, these next 5 games, winning 4 out of 5 seems very doable.
Oh, yeah. I made the prediction in an article that should be up some point tonight on Oilers Nation. By the time the Oilers play the Lightning on November 18th, they will be back at 500. You have 7 games, or it's the 5 that the people on YouTube see on their screen, and you just rattled off. After that, you get the Islanders and the Kraken on home ice. I think in those 7 games, Gregor, the bar right now for this team should be 5-2. You mentioned they're having fun at practice. The fan base is starting to have fun again. Like, it feels like that win at the Heritage Classic. It was only one victory, but man, did it ever take a weight off this city, the fan base, and like you said, the team as well.
Tyler, based on the decision today by the NHL, will the Ottawa Senators have to pay the Edmonton Oilers a 2nd or 3rd round pick in 2026 for hiring Steve Staios?
Oh, man. It is like, again, you talk about kicks in the you-know-what. The fact that the Oilers had to give up picks for Chiarelli and Todd McCullen, and then like immediately once they then the NHL goes, and we're done. We're good now. Like, it is a shame because the Oilers probably should be getting a pick out of that, and it's dumb that the NHL even had that rule to begin with. But whatever. They came down hard, though. Like Michael Andlauer, this is quite the welcome to the NHL moment. Like, you had a player get suspended for gambling activity, and then you lose a 1st-round pick. That is such a significant punishment. Like, I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Well, you think about it's a 1st-round selection for a trade that was made initially 2 years and 4 months ago. Right? Like, why did it take this long is my number one question. Like, how serious, how deep of an investigation do you have to do? You provided the no trade list, yes or no? It's a very simple answer, right? Like, I don't understand why it would take this long. And I don't know. It seems really harsh. Like, there has to be something more, which is typical NHL. There has to be something more to this story that we don't now. If Vegas asked and even if it was like, hey, does he have a no movement clause? No, he doesn't. Okay, well, so you lied, but considering what happened to the Chicago Blackhawks and such, like, is it just me, or does this seem like a real serious punishment for this?
Well, also, there's a very easy way, similar to the Shane Pinto thing, Greg's, there's a very easy way for the NHL to get around this whole conversation we're having, and probably every other sports podcast and radio show is having in the next couple of days. And it's, the NHL looks like a joke because no one knows what's going on. All me and you can do is sit here and speculate, because the release they put out about the Pinto suspension just said sports betting activities, but we have no proof he bet on the NHL. Okay, so why did he get suspended 41 games if he wasn't betting on NHL games? NHL doesn't want to provide clarity. You look at this example here, and it's like, okay, it was a trade. Sure, they lied. It was a minor trade, though. You're docking them a 1st-round pick. Why? Do you have any info? No, the release from the NHL is like 3 lines. It's an absolute joke. If the league came out with any ounce of clarity, at least people wouldn't be sitting here speculating and wondering.
No, that is totally fair. Skinner Thursday, Campbell Saturday. Is that what you're expecting?
Yeah, I think so. I think you really, really want to follow up the Heritage Classic with another good performance. And it's obvious right now that Stuart Skinner gives you the best chance to do it. And then Saturday, that's an easy choice too. Jack Campbell played great against the Predators last time out. He should be ready to go for that one. So you do at some point need to get back to a bit of a rotation. But in the short term here, when you're just trying to stack up a couple of wins, I do not mind going with the hot-handed Stuart Skinner tomorrow night.
Ty, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself a wonderful day. We will chat with you next Wednesday.
Thanks, Greg.
That is Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation. It seems like a pretty serious clampdown. And you know what? All I'm saying is, if they lied, no problem. Because there's nothing else that could, like, what else could be at play here? Either they didn't divulge that he had a 10-team no-trade list, or they did. There's no other option here. Because he got traded in July of 21. He then played for Vegas for a few months. Then Vegas went to try to trade him at the deadline. He blocked it. Said, no, I'm not going to Anaheim. They couldn't find anyone else to move him, I guess. They ended up missing the playoffs that year. Then they won the cup the year later. So that's what's the unique thing. Let's say they would have traded Dadonov, right? Would it somehow have impacted them in a different way that they don't win the cup in 23? To wait this long is what I don't understand. I don't get it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. So I don't know about you guys, but it seems rather odd for sure. Hey, Gregor, you mentioned Connor Brown. Who are the guys from, if he's 139th, who's listed from 130 to 150? Well, here's the list. Are you ready? Ryan Hartman, Jaden Schwartz, Matthew Barzell, Nick Bonino, Brady Tkachuk, Adrian Kempe, Ryan Johansson, Andrei Svechnikov, Connor Brown, Boone Jenner, Jean-Gabriel Pajot, Gustav Nyquist, Roman Josi, Blake Coleman, Jakub Voracek, Jordan Stahl, Andre Palat, and then a few defensemen, Burns, Hedman, and there's one more on the other page, Eric Holla. All right, there you go. Those are the guys. It's a mismatch of different types of players, but it just shows you scoring consistently, and that's goals. And and you want to know how many goals Connor Brown had over those 6 years? 90. And it's an average of 15 a year. Right? So I think sometimes, and that's the high guy at 130 was 92. Right? I think it's important for people when they have these expectations, consistency is difficult. And there's a significant drop from the top guys. The top guys are scoring 230 plus goals. Right? And then it drops off quite a bit. So there you go. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update presented by BIE Engineering. Specialize in all your residential, commercial, and industrial structural engineering needs. Go to BIEENG.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
4 games in the NHL tonight. The Sabres head to Philly at 5. The Stars in Calgary at 6:30. The Blues will take on the Avalanche at 7:30. Then at 8, it's the Ducks up against the Coyotes. The Oilers back in action tomorrow with the Stars in town. Pierre Dorion is no longer GM of the Ottawa Senators. Team owner Michael Andlauer made the announcement during a press conference today, adding that President of Hockey Ops Steve Stales will take over as interim general manager. The move was made hours after the NHL announced the Senators would forfeit one of their next 3 first-round draft picks as a result of a punishment stemming from their 2021 trade that sent Evgeny Dadonov to the Vegas Golden Knights and the invalidated trade that would have sent the forward to the Ducks in March of 2022. It's Game 5 of the World Series tonight as the Rangers look to wrap it all up, leading the Diamondbacks 3-1. First pitch set for 6:03. The Raptors in action tonight as well. They'll host the 2-1 Milwaukee Bucks. Tip off at 5. Elsewhere around the association, the Pistons host Portland. It's the Celtics taking on the Pacers. Brooklyn in Miami. Nuggets take on Minnesota. Mavs host the Bulls, and the Warriors up against the Kings. One game in the AJ this evening. Whitecourt hosting Grand Prairie at 7. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Pete Jensen of NHL Fantasy. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Full-service provider of heavy haul transportation and rigging at the highest level. Next Gen Transportation.
We're developing new and innovative ways to transport oversized and overweight equipment to remote and challenging locations.
Our Next Gen team leads with a wealth of experience and expertise. But most importantly, we put safety first, so everyone gets home safely.
We also take great pride in supporting our local community programs and teams. Good luck to everyone this season and in the year ahead.
Visit nextgentransportation.com.
Hey world, get ready to believe. At Oodle Noodle, we serve up world-class, worldwide flavors in our sweet, saucy, and fiery noodles. We believe in the power of nudes. We've got everything from saucy mac and cheese to sizzling pad thai to so many other unbelievable dishes sure to make you a noodle convert for life. You've got to taste them to believe it. Don't be a skeptic. The proof is in the noodles. Check us out at oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle. We believe in noodles.
Our cars are our lifeline, and every now and then we need to take care of them too. Cochran's Automotive services your vehicle with pride. When you need to fix it up, bring the whole family fleet. Junior's WRX, Mom's MPV, Dad's 1500, or even Grandpa's old 88. All makes and models are welcome. Trust Cochran's Automotive to professionally repair your family's pride and joy. They've got you covered for Volkswagen diesel timing belts too. Call 780-452-5001.
Being on this road together means saving twice during the Fountain Tire Road Ready sales event. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires. Plus, get a bonus $50 off any service until December 16th. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Ugh, fine print.
No, if I lift this up and then hit it right here.
No, it's hit then lift.
What are you guys doing?
We can't get this thing to work.
For guaranteed same-day service, call Franco Sorgiovanni at Corporate Business Solutions before someone makes it even worse. Most issues can be resolved within 20 minutes or less. Corporate Business Solutions is an authorized Konica Minolta office equipment dealer for sales and service. Call CBS today at 780-490-5600 or visit cbsca.com.
With sport and group events returning, are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson. Are you one of those people out there looking for something different to heat and cool your home? Weiss Johnson is Edmonton's cold climate heat pump specialist and would love to explain to you how Trane heat pumps are a reliable, cost-effective alternative for your home's heating and cooling needs. Order your Trane heat pump now and take advantage of the generous government rebates that are available. Trane, it's hard to stop a Trane. Call the most experienced HVAC company around with over 45 years in business. Visit wjcools.com today.
Noah for Medicine Hat writes, Dear Canadian Tire, it's time for upgrades around the house and upgrades in my toolbox. Any recos? The right tools make all the difference. Cliché, I know, but that's why Canadian Tire carries a wide selection of the tools you need. From brands like Mastercraft, Maximum, DeWalt, Bosch, and Stanley. Get everything you need for home maintenance at Canada's store. This week only, Triangle Rewards members earn 10 times bonus CT money on sockets, wrenches, and portable power tools. Qualifying purchases, conditions apply. Visit CanadianTire.ca or the flyer for more details.
Hi, Larry Ricci from Vision RV, reminding you that now's the time to start thinking winterization. The cold stuff is on the way, so be proactive and protect your investment with Vision RV's thorough and affordable winterizing packages. You'll be all set for the off-season with help from our amazing service team. So kick back and relax in our comfy customer lounge while we get to work, or stroll around and see what's new. We look forward to seeing you here at Vision RV, just south of the Yellowhead on Highway 60.
Mr. 305, Flow Rider and Lunch Money. 3 Miami boys, you know what time it is. Give me the green light.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, the clear choice for all your auto, residential, and commercial glass needs. Call 310 Glass or book now at crystalglass.ca.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Cause I'm ready to go. Give me the green light. I got the green light, mommy, and you know what that means. That we can do anything that you dream. I wanna make it ooh, hear you scream, and I practice what I preach. If you know what I mean, I'm about that, mommy. Yeah, I got the key, and I'ma lock that, mommy. Yeah, we can roll, and I'ma rock that, mommy.
It's after 3 o'clock on Sports 1440 live on Oilers Nation YouTube. You know what? I want to read this text we got in from Blair and Crowger quickly. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, Gregor, I understand what you were saying, and you're bang on about kids saying trick or treat. However, I should point out my son has autism and is nonverbal. He loves Halloween and he understands stuff, but he can't speak. And a lot of times I have to go to the house with him and explain to people why he didn't say trick or treat. And I'm sure it probably makes him feel bad. And so as he gets older, it might get worse. So food for thought from Blair and Calgary. It's a very good point, Blair. And you're bang on about that. So that would, it's always something last night, and again, talking about it on the radio and doing it very different. I never scold kids. Like I said, I would never make anybody sing. Right. It's when kids come up, and some are shy and some don't say trick or treat, but they say thank you. So, which is fine by me. And obviously for some who are, I'm happy that your boy likes to go out and go trick or treating. That's fantastic. And it's something to be cognizant of for sure. Some kids are nonverbal, and obviously there's kids who are deaf. Some can speak, some can't. Who will go trick or treating and maybe won't be able to say anything, which is totally fair. So thanks for the text. I appreciate it. We got lots more coming in on the orders and the NHL. Hey guys, you're hilarious. The Oilers have 2 wins and beat a bad Calgary team. Don't have any bottom 5 scoring. Have the most overpaid defenseman in the league, and nothing's changed with their goalies. How do you all of a sudden think they are better? From RL. Hey RL. With the same goalies, the same defensemen, the Edmonton Oilers, even to their terrible start in the last 30 games, have the 5th most points in the NHL. Why are they suddenly terrible? Because they had a bad start? Do you honestly think all of their guys in the bottom 6 are never going to score? Really? Do you know how many goals their bottom 6 scored last year? Or how many guys in the bottom 6 scored last year in the first 9 games? 1. Right? 1. It's 8 games. Now, you text us regularly and you hate Darnell Nurse and you think the Oilers suck. And so that's okay. You're consistent. But it's what's comical to me is somebody who thinks the Oilers actually aren't a good team. Doesn't mean they'll win the Stanley Cup. But thinking the Oilers aren't going to make the playoffs is laughably ignorant. It just is. It means you're not watching the games. The Oilers didn't play well. That doesn't mean they're a bad team. 2 things can happen simultaneously. I know it's a tough concept. It seems that way in society in 2023. People don't think 2 things can happen simultaneously. The Oilers can be a good team who's playing poorly. And that's what they were. Good team playing poorly. They played well against Calgary. Now we'll see. Like we said, it's great that they did it. Now they got to do it again. Do I think they're capable of it? Of course. 2 weeks. The Oilers, I'll be floored if they don't go 4-1, 4-0-1, or 5-0 in their next 5 games. Schedule sets up very well. They're a good team. And they seem to have kind of awoken from their early season slump. But I think it's incredibly premature. Like the Oilers didn't suddenly become a terrible team. Right? They had 109 points last year, and now they're suddenly terrible. Like, be realistic here. Be realistic. They're not suddenly terrible whatsoever. There's way too much. Just like if the Oilers were 8-0, like Boston. Do I think Boston is suddenly a cup contender? I don't, because I don't like their center group. I love their defense. I like their goaltending. Now, are they willing to trade something to get a center? Very possible. Then that changes it. But when I look at Boston's roster right now today, I wouldn't consider them in my top 5 Stanley Cup contenders. Good team, but playoffs are different, and you need good centers. Who wins without good centers in the playoffs? Anybody? Can you name a team? So they're gonna, like Charlie Coyle, God love him, but if he's your number 1 center, I don't think you're going to the Stanley Cup. I just don't think you can do it. So. Hey, guys, I'd like to see some guys from the farm. Sam Gagne is not my choice. That'd be Lane Peterson. Which player would you bring up for Ernie? Carpa Guy Andy. Well, Lane Peterson's injured, so it wouldn't be him. Sam Gagne for Adam Ernie makes the most sense to me at this time. I've said it, and I'll continue to say it. Raphael Lavoie. Raphael Lavoie has had a really good 40 games in the American League. Really good. Second half last year and the first 5 this year. Excellent. So I want him to continue. I do not think it helps him to come and play 7 to 10 minutes a night in the NHL. I'd rather him maintain confidence, play a ton of minutes, keep knocking on the coach's door, put me on the penalty kill, put me on the penalty kill, put me on the penalty kill, get more penalty kill time. Because when it comes to the NHL, just keep in mind, scoring in the American League doesn't equate to scoring in the NHL. Right? We can go through the list of the Oilers players that they had who were scorers in the American League who didn't become scorers in the NHL. It's very hard to do. Anton Lander, recent memory. Look at Ty Ratty's numbers in the minors and in junior. Right? Look at Tyler Benson. Scoring in the American League is scoring in the American League. That's what it is. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed to translate to be a scorer in the National Hockey League. Not at all. And so Lavoie can shoot, right? And he's big. He's 6'4", and he's playing a little bit more mean like he did in junior, as he should be. He's a big body. He can be a bully. But the Edmonton Oilers are a cup contending team. I would say this. I give Dylan Holloway, who's a young player, actually younger than Lavoie, I give him the month of November. If he still isn't producing some stuff offensively, I'd have a conversation. Say, you know what? We're just going to send you down the minors for 3 weeks or so. Want to get you some puck offensive confidence. Because it does matter. Confidence is huge in the game. It's massive. And then I would call up Lavoie, because then I could play him in my top 9. I could move Warren Fogle back to the left wing, and I'd have Lavoie, Hyman, and Brown as my top 3 right wingers. I don't even care what line they're on. But I'm assuming Lavoie. I'm not playing Lavoie ahead of Hyman and Brown because he's scored well in the American League. I'm not doing it. Right? Connor Brown and Zach Hyman have both produced well in the National Hockey League. So that's why they'd be ahead of him. But I have no issues. Like do I think Sam Gagner, and here's the other thing, do I think the Oilers' fourth-line players that I see in tomorrow night's game, do I think they will be there after the trade deadline? Now, to me, that's the big question. I would be surprised. I think Ken Hall, we saw Nick Bukestad come here last year. Now, I think it's going to be difficult to find another Clean Costin type trade, right? 2 guys who are in the minors. You get Clean Costin, comes here, and he added a lot. It's hard to find guys that can shoot like Costin, who are a decent skater like Costin, and who can fight like Costin. There's just not, it's not like you can just snap your fingers and find a guy like that. It's hard to do. But veterans who are bigger bodies, quick, can play in your fourth line, that's what they'll go looking for. They might go looking for a right defenseman as well. We'll see. But that's what they're looking for. So. Hey, Gregor, stop it. Your common sense doesn't compute with some sections of Oiler fans, from Playbook Vic. Hey, Gregor, try not to be that guy, but the 06 Oilers won 15 playoff games with an average forward group from Geo, average center group. Average? Mike Pekka, you got to remember, like Mike Pekka was a Selke Trophy type centerman. Sean Horkoff, really, like those guys were very good two-way guys. Not elite offensively, I'll give you that. Very good two-way guys. But Jarrett Stoll was an excellent third-line center. I would strongly disagree. I think the Oilers had good center depth on that team. Like, Charlie Coyle has never come close to Sean Horkoff's best offensive season. And he's not a two-way player like Mike Pekka. So I would actually, if you're giving me Horkoff and Pekka in 06, I would take them ahead of Coyle and Zaka today. And then I got Jarrett Stoll as my third-line center. Oh, sure. I would think that center depth's better than what Boston currently has down the middle. I fully expect them to improve it, though, and watch Calgary and Lindholm. If Calgary and Lindholm don't have a contract and the Flames can, continue to sputter. And Calgary, you know what? Remember last year, Calgary had terrible goaltending from Markstrom. Terrible. And they only missed playoffs by 2 points. They're off to a brutal start, too. They'll get Anderson back, right? Or Pretender, whatever you want to call him. I'm not ready yet to stomp the Flames out either, because last year, goaltending is what cost them. They're getting good goaltending. Like, I can't. Now, maybe Huberdeau is just the dud of duds, but I can't think a guy who, and I'm not talking 115-point Huberdeau. I'm talking like 80-point Huberdeau. I can't see why that has just disappeared that quickly. Like, to fall from an 80-point guy to a 40-point guy is a big fall. Sometimes it'll be gradual, 80, 75, 65, 55, right? It happens over time. But his fall from grace here since he got to Calgary is stunning to me. I got to think at some point he'll figure it out. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems odd that a guy who's not that old, who's a really good offensive player, for like top 5 offensive player in point production, and then suddenly now he's a 45-point guy. Like, how is that happening? Like, Flame fans must be beside themselves, and management. Like, what is going on here? Gregor Costin left because of money. Well, Detroit paid him $2 million. I'm not sure, he necessarily would have gotten $2 million, right? But that's like if he went to arbitration, would he have gotten $2 million for 11 goals? Granted, 11 goals in 57 games. I don't know, maybe. It didn't really have a long track record. It was a 1-year thing. Right? Because in arbitration, they look at the first year, counts, but then they also look at the second year. Well, there really wasn't a second year for Clean Costin. He wasn't in the NHL, wasn't doing anything. So I don't know if he would have got $2 million in arbitration. I'd be surprised. I thought Detroit gave him that contract believing that, you know what, we saw the fisticuffs against Gabranson. That was a hell of a tilt earlier this year. And now he's being hurt, so he hasn't played very much yet in Detroit. So, we'll see if he can live up to it. His value won't just be in goals, though. I think it's with hits, it's with fights, it's different, bringing a different element for sure. If you want to make a statement to say, I would have rather the Oilers signed Costin for 1.3 or 4 instead of Janmark or Ryan, I can see that argument. I think that's a valid thing to say. Because those two, I don't know if you needed both back, to be honest. I don't see the difference. I don't see a different element between the two of them, other than they shoot different ways. So I could see that argument. If you would have said in the summertime, you know what, I don't like this, I would rather have Clean Costin 1.25, 1.3, 1.4, maybe you would have signed it. I have no idea what they offered. But $2 million, I was a little surprised he got $2 million from Detroit, but good for him. And Gregor McLeod got $2 million, 11 goals, 57, sure, fair point. Center iceman, little bit longer of a track record, but fair point. But also that second year. Right? Not that he had a lot, but he had more production than Costin. Quick break. When we return, we will go around the NHL, talk about a few other guys. Some off to great starts, some not so much. Like Jonathan Huberdeau and Nazem Kadri struggles in Calgary, man. When you dig into it, it is shockingly bad. There's a few others around the league. We'll talk about it next. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cdlhomes.com.
Any team looking to trade up is wise to wait for the right conditions. Right now at Volvo Cars Edmonton, they've got some exceptional offers to help move the remaining 2023 inventory. So whether your team wants to head to the game in the sporty XC60 or the spacious XC90, you'll get up to $5,000 off or finance rates from 2.49%. Volvo Cars Edmonton is Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Visit 1205 101st Street Southwest or chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
At The Brick, we're not just proud of this city and its rich sports history. We're proud partners of it. The Brick started right here in Edmonton over 50 years ago. And when we're not cheering on the Oilers and Oil Kings live at the game, or the Edmonton Elks under the bright stadium lights, we're in our stores, providing everything you need to cheer them on in your home. The Brick, supporting Edmonton sports teams and fans since 1971, saving you more.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Hey world, get ready to believe. At Oodle Noodle, we serve up world-class, worldwide flavors in our sweet, saucy, and fiery noodles. We believe in the power of nudes. We've got everything from saucy mac and cheese to sizzling pad thai to so many other unbelievable dishes sure to make you a noodle convert for life. You've got to taste them to believe it. Don't be a skeptic. The proof is in the noodles. Check us out at oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle. We believe in noodles.
When Ottawa's proposed electricity regulations make electricity unreliable, the things you rely on won't work when needed. Your hot water, computer, washer and dryer, electric car, TV, lights, mobile phone, stove, your heat in -30. Visit tellthefeds.ca to learn why Canada's power grid will be unreliable. And tell the feds, reliable and affordable electricity matters. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Noah from Medicine Hat writes, Dear Canadian Tire, it's time for upgrades around the house and upgrades in my toolbox. Any recos? The right tools make all the difference. Cliché, I know, but that's why Canadian Tire carries a wide selection of the tools you need. From brands like Mastercraft, Maximum, DeWalt, Bosch, and Stanley. Get everything you need for home maintenance at Canada's store. This week only, Triangle Rewards members earn 10 times bonus CT money on sockets, wrenches, and portable power tools. Qualifying purchases, conditions apply. Visit CanadianTire.ca or the flyer for more details.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson. Can you believe that summer is over and fall is here? With that in mind, we are offering free furnace upgrades from Daikin, should you be looking to get a new furnace. This means getting a better model of furnace that provides you greater comfort at a lower price. Plus, Daikin has the best warranty in the business. There's never a better time to get a new Daikin furnace from Weiss Johnson. We know how important a good furnace is in Edmonton, so don't procrastinate as this is a limited time offer. Visit wjheats.com today.
Denham Ford's roots run deep in the history of Central Alberta. Like always, you can experience the same honest pricing and honest service that you've come to expect from all of us at Denham Ford for the past 65 years. Denham Ford is proud to be Canada's only 50-time President Award-winning dealership in customer satisfaction, treating every customer like family. Visit Denham Ford on the world-famous Wetaskiwin Auto Mile or from home at denhamford.ca.
Cars cost less than Wetaskiwin. City nights, summer breeze make it feel right. Neon lights shining brightly make a rainy night.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell, from LED lighting audits and retrofits to design build distribution systems. Ewell services can give you the edge you need to impress your clients. EWEL.ca.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back on a busy Wednesday. Feels like forever for Oilers fans, but your team will play again tomorrow. And then they get into a little bit of rotation. They play Thursday, Saturday, Monday, then 2 days off. Then they play the Sharks and Seattle. Then they get into more of a 2-day schedule. They're home. They got the 2 home games. 6:30 starts, though, by the way. They're on some national TV games on the Monday and the Wednesday against the Islanders and the Kraken of all teams. But it just shows you they want to see, they being the NHL broadcasters and executives, they want to see McDavid and Draisaitl on national TV more. So they're probably happy that some of their early games weren't on national TV because they weren't very good. Not very good at all. But telling you, the Oilers will be heating up in the month of November. Mark it down. Don't be surprised. I don't think that's a hot take. I think the hot takes are the ones who are writing off a team after 8 games. To me, that's the hot take. A team that coming into the season had the second most wins over the previous 128 games. And even with their terrible start, they still have the 4th most wins now over the last 130 games. So it'd be a little premature to write off the Edmonton Oilers in my books. Let's go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's, baby. You have a few days left to play Monopoly. Your chance, more chances than ever to win. You can do it right in person, right? When you get your Big Mac or your cheeseburger, your milkshake. Then you can also peel on the app. All the rules are at mcdpromotion.ca. Don't hesitate. There's millions of prizes to be won. As Pete Jensen from NHL Fantasy joins us now. Pete, welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
How you doing, Jason? Yeah, I definitely echo what you were saying about McDavid, Draisaitl. I know that, and the Oilers at large. I mean, even if you're going to say right now that Jack Hughes is leading the pack in the MVP race, like McDavid is better than a point per game in a small sample size this season. I would expect him to rejoin that conversation probably in a matter of days.
Yeah, well, Leon Draisaitl has actually had a really good season for the Edmonton Oilers offensively and defensively. And, McDavid, it's funny. I was looking. He had 1.5 points per game in the month of October, which, most players would die to have. That's the lowest point total he's had in a month since November of 2021. So, been a while. So, he's a pretty good player. Shall we say? Now, I was looking at a few other numbers, and we were talking about the Flames, so I'll start there. How concerned are you about Huberdeau? Like, this is last season, now it's a new coach, and it's this season. Him and Kadri are just getting murdered 5-on-5 in Calgary right now.
Right, and Uyghur hasn't lived up to his deal either. So it's really it's tough because even if you're being critical of the Flames and what they're bringing you right now, it's like, right, 2 years ago, they lost Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk in the offseason. And then even after last year, where they hung around a little bit, despite all those negative production trends with Markstrom and Uyghur and Huberdeau and Kadri, and the list goes on, like they still lost Tyler Toffoli this past offseason. So it's just really tough sledding for that group. I think that they have a chance to be in play for the second wild card when it's all said and done this season, but that might be their ceiling this year, realistically speaking. So yeah, I am worried about pretty much anybody not named Rasmus Anderson. If he's coming back from the suspension tonight, that's big news for their first power play and stuff like that. He's fantasy relevant. I like Elias Lindholm, whether he stays or goes. Contract year, could be traded. If he gets traded to a better spot, that could be great for you in fantasy. I would hang tough with those two guys, but you're starting to think, when you look at the waiver wire and some of these guys, McTavish, some of the rookies out there that are heating up, like the pressure is mounting to drop Jonathan Huberdeau for good reason, unfortunately.
Nick Backstrom elects to step away from the game. How much of an impact do you think this has on Washington? Or is there anyone you think this will have a positive impact because they're going to get way more minutes?
Well, it's been tough in recent years because they have some young prospects waiting in the wings, like that McMichael kid, Connor McMichael. They have Alexei Protas. They had another Russian kid that was playing in the preseason up top with Alex Ovechkin. That didn't really last, but it's maybe turning the page in the short term a little bit faster than it would have been had Backstrom been there. And then on top of Backstrom, you still have Kuznetsov there. Whether he's happy or not right now, he's in the top 6. And Dylan Strome, to his credit, has actually been really good, really dynamic in the past week and a half of the season to get that Capitals offense jiving a little bit again, at least on one line. But yeah, for Backstrom, it's tough. I mean, he was one of the most productive, like clockwork every single year, whether he was playing with Ovechkin or not, his entire career, maybe a slight step below the Crosbys and Malkins and, Ovechkins of the world, but not by very much. Pretty much been a top 5 player in his entire career at large among active players. So you hate to see this injury news for him. And he's been dealing with so many hip injury complications over the past couple of years as it is.
Pete Jensen joins us. Pete, there is 5 forwards in the National Hockey League who are playing at least 18 minutes a night. They've all played at least 8 games, and they have no goals. 2 of them are on the same team in Seattle, in Alex Wenberg and Matty Beniers. Wenberg has 2 assists in 10 games. Beniers has 3. I know last year everything went right in Seattle offensively. And there's 2 of your top 3 centers sitting with goose eggs in goals and, limited points through 10 games. Were you expecting this drastic of a drop-off for the offense in Seattle, or do you see anything that tells you it might come around?
They still have strong depth. Like even during these struggles, you see Jaden Schwartz is lighting it up. I know Burakovsky's injured right now, so it gets tough for them when they're missing some key guys. But yeah, Seattle still has one of the deepest rosters in the entire league, and that's after they even lost a guy like Daniel Sprong in the offseason. He went to Detroit. So yeah, I think that they're still a pretty solid team, all things considered. I still expect them to sneak into the playoffs. But when you couple that, lack of top end talent, like even if Beniers is your best player or Vince Dunn, those are not top 75 overall fantasy talents, even with what they did last year. So you kind of worry about that lack of a bona fide superstar. And then the goaltending, like if Philip Grubauer is faltering and they're going to Joey Decord, I mean, that's a problem, whether you're talking about futures appeal in betting to make the playoffs or fantasy wise to, get what you put in from an average draft position perspective in your drafts.
Pete Jensen joins us talking NHL fantasy. Pete, well, I always look for different trends of players. And one of the big differences, I know it hasn't resulted yet in a lot of goals from him, but Matty Barzal had an 85-point season. A lot of people are like, man, this guy's going to be a good offensive player, and it's never really lived up to it. But he didn't shoot the puck. Last year, Matt Barzal had a total of 139 shots in the entire season. Through 8 games, he has 31 shots this year. Like, it's clear that he's made a concerted effort to shoot more, and if you shoot more, I think eventually you're going to score more. Not saying he's going to become Ovechkin or Draisaitl or anybody like that, but what do you make of Matty Barzal? Because we got a lot of people wondering, like, is now the time to sell on Matty Barzal? I actually think now's the time to be patient because he's actually shooting the puck finally.
Yeah, it gives him another layer to reach in fantasy, and he's playing more on the wing than he has in his entire career. He's been mostly a center. He's been the number 1 center. There's always been that discussion. Does he stack up with the other, top 15 number 1 centers in the league? And he probably hasn't, honestly. The Islanders have gone deep in the playoffs a couple of times during his tenure with the team, maybe despite him not being a number 1 center to his core. But again, playing with Bo Horvat, it's like that trade deadline acquisition from last year. They played together a little bit. They were productive. Barzal got injured down the stretch. Horvat fell off a cliff production-wise, and things looked kind of ugly. Like, what are the Islanders going to do offensively this season? Now, year 2 under Lane Lambert, he's sticking Barzal on the wing, and you're starting to see that category coverage that was lacking in previous years. And even their power play, like Noah Dobson is underrated from a point production standpoint. He's whipping it around, and they're scoring in droves, even strength or on the power play. So I feel like Barzal maybe won't score 85 points like he did in a rookie season, but he might have his best category coverage profile to date in fantasy this season playing the wing.
It's only a month in a season. It's still very early, but some teams have played 10 games like Seattle, others 7 or 8. You look at some early season trend. Who are some guys, not like high-end guys, because most of those guys are already drafted, but who are some kind of mid-tier players that you see on teams you say, hey, now is the time to look at them in waiver wire or even in daily fantasy because they're hot?
Yeah, we've been kind of sprinkling in some Anaheim Ducks with their production trends, surprising ones at that. But this particular week, it seems like the whole second line is on our top 200 rankings with McTavish and Ryan Strome tied for the NHL lead in even strength points last I checked. Frank Vetrano has been a home run. If you picked him up off the waiver wire so far, he's shooting the puck like crazy and scoring among the league leaders in goals. There's this Pavel Mintyukov on defense. So if like those forwards are long gone in your fantasy league, give him a look. He's been on power play 1. Jamie Drysdale's injured, so he's got that spot pretty much locked up for at least the time being. And then Lucas Dostal, the goaltender, has been really good too. Again, I don't think the Anaheim Ducks are going to remain in playoff contention, but if they play Leo Carlsson more nights than not, which I feel like he deserves, like that's another thing. They haven't even been playing him every game for some reason, but they have a lot of high-end offensive talent. And even if John Gibson is injured like he is right now, like this kid Dostal has shown you a glimmer here and there over the years. And I would love to see him get a chance to be the starter moving forward.
Pete Jensen joins us from NHL Fantasy. You know, Pete, you look at, teams that we've talked about that have been surprised. I think the Anaheim Ducks, without question, Mason McTavish has been excellent. And the thing about the Ducks is Zegras has really done nothing. He's got 2 points, right?
Right.
Now he missed training camp, and I've said this all along, man. Training camp doesn't necessarily matter as far as results on the ice go. It does allow guys just to kind of feel the puck and get in game shape. And we saw that Nylander, and he held out way longer, and he never kind of caught up. I wonder if we're going to see how long this will last for Zegras.
It will be interesting. And the crazy thing is, he might get bumped off the center position because look at all these other guys that either have played center at a high level in the past or are playing it at a high level right now. Like when Leo Carlsson's in the top 6, Trevor Zegras is probably playing wing like we've seen at spurts so far this season. There's McTavish has played center many times before in his career. Ryan Strom's a center, right? All these guys. And all of a sudden you see, maybe he's more cut out to be a wing on this team, which kind of changes the complexion of the player a little bit and some of his strengths through the years. So it's, he's one of the highest skilled players out there, Trevor Zegras, but it's an adjustment. The preseason thing was an adjustment. Changing positions is an adjustment. And, kind of a lot of cooks in the kitchen right now, to be frank, for the Anaheim Ducks. I never really thought we'd be saying this, but they're arriving a little bit earlier than expected.
Yeah, early on in the season, I need to see a little bit more from the Ducks. We'll find out, especially with Gibson. So we'll see what goes on there. But it's a much better start than anyone predicted, and clearly Cronin's intensity has rubbed off on his team, especially they looked really good on the road. It wasn't like they're kind of padding it at home. So I'm kind of curious about them. Also, quickly, give me your thoughts on the Coyotes. Anybody in Arizona who tweaks you as a fantasy guy who interests you outside of Keller, obviously?
A lot of guys. Playing with Keller and Schmaltz is Barrett Hayton has somehow no points this season, but a decent shot volume and was really good down the stretch last year. So maybe a buy low opportunity to pick up him if you're in a deeper league. I love those guys like Krause and, Michelli. They've been really productive so far, and a lot of defenseman options as well. I love Sean Dursey since he changed sweaters in the offseason. And there's Valimaki as well, and Moser, and they have a pretty good top 4 defense. So, yeah, I think the Coyotes are probably going to be close to a playoff team this year and have some of the most underrated young talent in the league right now.
Well, yeah, Cooley's got 6 apples, no assists, but he has played very well. And you mentioned Hayden. Yeah, it's kind of surprising. He's got donuts across the board, but he's been around the net. He's a guy, I think, that if you're looking right now to get as a buy low option, he would be one.
Right. And Logan Cooley, is an absolute stud, and they've kind of made it a point. I appreciate that they're doing this. They're not just, sometimes when you stack a top line and put Cooley up there with the 2 other best players on your team, your depth gets sacrificed in the process, right? They're trying to use this feeling out process. They've been a little inconsistent so far, but they've had a couple of huge wins and a couple of upsets to boot. So, they're trying to work with 3 strong lines, and maybe that's something that could be more likely to get them to the postseason. I'm sure Cooley's going to put up his points all season long, regardless of whether he's on the top line with Keller and Schmaltz or not. But it's an interesting strategy by Andre Turigny, and he might be another one of those guys, along with Cronin, along with maybe John Cooper in Tampa Bay, weathering the storm without Andre Vasilevsky for the first 2 months. Turigny has to be in the coach of the year conversation if you're looking at that type of a futures play.
Pete, great stuff, man. We appreciate your time. Have a great day.
You too. Always great to catch up with you, and curious to see where the Oilers are at in a week or two when we talk again. But thanks as always for having me on, and check out the NHL Fantasy on Ice podcast. We already dropped a couple episodes this week for week 4, whether you're playing fantasy or betting. So we appreciate it. Thanks.
Hey, Pete, no problem. And I'll tell you, I expect the Oilers to have way more wins in 2 weeks than they have now. And also Connor Brown, another guy that I think is going to start producing for the Edmonton Oilers. That is Pete Jensen from NHL Fantasy. 344 will return on the Jason Gregor Show. We got a lot of texts coming in on play. It was interesting. I was going around the league just looking at guys off to slow starts, because I know when you're a fan of one team, you're just like, oh my goodness, the Oilers bottom 6 is terrible. And it's totally valid to say it's been, well, it can't get much worse because they have no points. But there's lots of teams. And then you have some teams where, like Calgary, every forward has a goal except Backlund, but their overall team goals are like not very good at all. Right. So we'll be looking at a few different teams around the league, some that are playing very well and have like 5 guys with no goals. You know, where like the Oilers, trust me, no one in there. I have yet to find a bottom 6 that's goalless. So the Oilers are in a unique category, but there are some that are close. We'll discuss that next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation YouTube.
Rodeo clowning felt like an exciting opportunity. Boy, was I ever wrong. The Bulls. So predictable. But you know what's exciting and unpredictable? PlayAlberta.ca. I can bet on any sports game, play online casino games anytime, and buy lottery tickets anywhere.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today and get over $100 in welcome bonuses. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
There's 2 seasons in Alberta, winter and construction. During these days of traffic barricades and slower commutes, GS Construction reminds you those crews are improving our communities. They're rehabilitating and upgrading Edmonton's infrastructure all across the city. When you see the barricades and run into a traffic backup, remember, the crews are there to help. Drive slow and be patient. Help make our city better and join the GS Construction team. See what they're hiring for on Indeed.com. GS Construction, laying the groundwork for your community since 1974.
If you have mobility issues, a residential elevator can allow you to enjoy your home for longer, but finding the right elevator or lift can be daunting. Ram Elevators and Lifts can get you started with 3 simple questions. What kind of space are you installing the elevator in? How far does it need to travel? And are you interested solely in function, or is the look of your lift important? Make your home more accessible with grounded simplicity, elevated design. Learn more online at trustram.com.
A solid financial plan is made up of more than just investments. Investments are an important part, but you need a more comprehensive approach. Andy Akel at Weird Pearson Akel & Associates Private Wealth Management understands that. He can help build a plan that includes retirement, estate planning, personal insurance, tax strategies, and yes, investments. Talk to him today and see the difference a real financial plan makes. Weird Pearson Akel & Associates. Call 780-988-4119 or visit weirdadvisoryteam.com.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cblhomes.com.
At The Brick, we're not just proud of this city and its rich sports history. We're proud partners of it. The Brick started right here in Edmonton over 50 years ago. And when we're not cheering on the Oilers and Oil Kings live at the game, or the Edmonton Elks under the bright stadium lights, we're in our stores, providing everything you need to cheer them on in your home. The Brick, supporting Edmonton sports teams and fans since 1971, saving you more.
Some things just work together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf.
your love for the game, and Papa John's passion for better ingredients, better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. That's SPORTS20.
When Ottawa's proposed electricity regulations make electricity unaffordable, you may have to make some hard choices.
Winter boots for my kids.
Groceries for my family.
Our mortgage.
My rent. Braces.
A rainy day fund.
Visit tellthefeds.ca to learn why your power bill could be 4 times higher than today. And tell the feds, affordable and reliable electricity matters. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We've continued developing tools and are excited to announce our newest design, battery-powered nut runners. 4 models from 500 to 3,000 foot-pounds with more on the way. Learn more at cantork.com.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:49. Welcome back. Wednesday edition of the Gregor Show. Hey, Gregor, you mentioned there was 5 players. You mentioned the 2 from Seattle. Who are the other 3 who have played all those minutes and don't have any goals? I'm just curious. That one comes in from Steve. Well, Steve, Barrett Hayden from Arizona. He has no goals, no points in 8 games. No goals on 23 shots. He's shooting the puck just right now. Can't find a goal. How about Johnny Hockey? He has no goals on 29 shots. So the odds would tell you eventually he's going to score, but no goals for Johnny Gaudreau in 9 games. And then I mentioned Matt Beniers also, and Wenberg. For the other 2, Beniers has 18 shots in 10 games, no goals. They probably want him shooting a bit more. Wenberg has no goals on 13 shots. He's not a big shooter. And then the other one is TJ Oshie, who's usually a pretty decent, consistent scorer. But he's currently sitting at no goals as well. These are all forwards who have played at least 18 minutes per game and played at least 8 games. So anywhere from 8 to 10 for those 5. So we'll look and see. Hey, Gregor, I thought Matt Tkachuk had no goals. No, he has 1. He has 1 goal. He has 6 assists, 7 points. Now, Sam Reinhart right now is their finisher. Reinhart has 8 goals in 8 games for Florida. He is off to a very good start. And they're without Ekblad. They're without Montour. They're without Bennett. And they're still kind of hanging around. So we'll see. Hey, guys, is there any chance Detroit's going to waive Costin? Hasn't scored any goals and he's minus. I will say this. I think the odds of Detroit waiving Klim Kostin are the same odds of the Oilers waiving Connor Brown. 0 right now. Right now, Klim Kostin, hey, Klim Kostin was, a streaky scorer. Right? He's only played like 8 minutes a night. He hasn't played a ton of minutes in Detroit either. Right? Do I think they waive him right away? I'd be surprised. Right? I could be wrong, but I would be surprised. If in 2 months, 3 months, then maybe you consider it, but he's also got a year left on his deal, right? Lots of times teams you can't just be knee-jerk reaction and, want to give up on a player and lose them for nothing because of 7 bad games. And I haven't watched a Detroit game, so I can't even say if he's playing poorly. All I know is he's barely played. So, it's like Connor Brown. The first few games, Connor Brown didn't look good. That's totally fair. He admitted it yesterday on our show. But the last few games, I think Connor Brown's been excellent. He's been all over the puck. And I've watched him in practice. He's a guy who's really bearing down and scoring in practice. And I'm a big believer. You watch, that'll translate. Don't be surprised if he scores either tomorrow or Saturday. I'm going to say right now, I won't be surprised at all. The guy has been a good mid-tier productive player for a long time in his career. I don't expect that is suddenly going to change because of 8 games coming off an ACL surgery. I don't buy it. I do not buy it. Sorry. Hey, Greg's, I'm in Victoria here in Vancouver. They're talking about Stanley Cup. Help. Hey, you know what? Hey, the Canucks have had not a lot of success lately. Is that fair? Right? I think that's fair. So if you look right now, they're in, what are they, second place? They're 6-2-1. They're off to a good start. Right? Like, hey, they spanked the Oilers 8-1, then beat them 4-3 on some timely goals, I think, and their goalie played very well, Casey DeSmith, that night. I think, do I think Vancouver is a cup contender? No, but I picked Vancouver to make the playoffs this year. I like Demko. I like Hughes. I like Peterson. I like JT Miller. I think they got some good pieces there. I think they have to improve their overall blue line, but I really like Quinn Hughes. And like, I had Vancouver ahead of Seattle. You know, do I think Vancouver, when the season's done, are they going to finish ahead of the Edmonton Oilers? I'd be surprised. But they're 8 points up. Edmonton does have a game in hand. And, you know, that's a lot of real estate to gain. So as I mentioned for the Oilers, they got to get on a little bit of a winning streak here. And that game next Monday, like, when you consider that Vancouver's already beat the Oilers twice this year, that will only be the Oilers' 11th game of the season. It's unfortunate that 3 times in their first 11 they play Vancouver, and then going to play them once. I'm not even sure if they play the Canucks 4 times this year. I haven't looked this skid. So they're going to play them once in their final 71 or none. Kind of odd. But I would say that game is a fairly big game when you consider wanting to catch Vancouver. Because if you lose that one, you're guaranteed you've lost the season series. And you don't have the tiebreaker. So small little things. But, hey, Vancouver's a good team. I think they're a playoff team. Do I think they're a cup contender? Not right now. I do not. But you know what? Make a move, and they could. Hey, guys, you mentioned TJ Oshie. What do you think the chances he gets traded? What's his cap situation? Comes in from Dallas. Dallas, good question. I think Oshie has a year left, but let me double check. I'll pull it up right now. TJ Oshie, yeah, he has 1 year left after this year. 5.75. He's 36 years of age. I don't see it being a fit for Edmonton. Too expensive at his age. Like, TJ Oshie in his prime, I thought was a solid player. Really good, solid contributor. Played hard, but yeah, I don't think he would be the guy that, especially when he's got a year left at 5.75. It's a non-starter in Edmonton. It's a non-starter. You're not paying a 37-year-old guy $5.75 million. Not going to happen. Would a team, if Washington was willing to eat half, would you acquire Oshie for this year's playoff run and next year's playoff run? At half, he's what? Basically like a $2.85 million player? Yeah. I don't think so. I've watched, like, that guy's got a lot of miles on the treads, and I think he's slowed down. I wouldn't personally. I would pass. And TJ has had an excellent career. I think he's probably got a decent shot to get into the USA Hockey Hall of Fame. I think there's I almost say a no-brainer to get in there. I don't think he's an NHL, like the Hockey Hall of Fame, but I think he's an American Hockey Hall of Fame. He's going to play his 1,000th game later on this year. He's probably going to end up with over 300 goals in his career. A really solid career. But he's not a guy I would be looking at for sure. When we come back, Mike Rupp will join us. Jack Hughes off to an excellent start. So are the Rangers. Then you got the Islanders, who've been started hot, then they went a little tailspin. Now they've won again. Matt Barzal has changed positions, and he's shooting the puck way more. Will it result in goals? And Mike, of course, now does color on about 20, 25 games for the Penguins. He's seen them up close and personal. What does he think about the Penguinis? We'll get all that. Also, another edition of Help Your Neighbor, where you could win someone a brand new high-efficiency furnace, courtesy of Legacy Heating and Cooling. So, lots going on. Let's get to the Con Man and the Sports 1440 update brought to you by Edmonton Kubota, where, you know what? I know you don't want to think about it, but you always want to plan ahead. You know, it's just like, how many of you waited to change your tires too late and then you were mad? Well, stay ahead of the snow game. You can get from Edmonton Kubota, they have their powerful snow removal equipment. Get it now with all the attachments. Make your winter a lot less hassle. EdmontonKubota.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Four games on the ice tonight in the NHL. The Sabres heading to Philly at 5 Stars, taking on the Flames at 6:30. The Blues up against the Avs at 7:30. Then at 8, the Coyotes taking on the Ducks. The Oilers off tonight, back in action tomorrow with the Stars in town. Pierre Dorion is no longer the manager of the Ottawa Senators. Team owner Michael Andlauer made the announcement during a news conference today, adding that President of Hockey Ops Steve Stales will take over the GM duties on an interim basis. The move was made hours after the NHL announced that the Sens would forfeit one of their first-round picks in the next 3 years as a result of a punishment stemming from their 2021 trade that sent Evgeny Dadonov to the Vegas Golden Knights and invalidated a trade that would have sent the forward to the Ducks in 2022. Washington Capitals center Nicholas Backstrom is taking a leave of absence from the team because of what he called an ongoing injury situation after a slow start to the season on his artificial left hip. He says he needs time to determine his next steps and viable options moving forward. It's Game 5 of the World Series as the Rangers look to wrap it all up tonight, leading 3-1 over the Diamondbacks. First pitch set for 6:03. The Raptors in action tonight. They're hosting the 2-1 Milwaukee Bucks. That one gets going at 5. We've also got the Pistons hosting Portland. Celtics taking on the Pacers. Brooklyn in Miami. Nuggets are in Minnesota. The Mavs host the Bulls, and the Warriors taking on the Kings. In Game 1 in the AJ tonight, Whitecourt hosting GP. That one gets going at 7. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear from Mike Rupp of the NHL Network. It's another edition of Help Your Neighbor, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Any team looking to trade up is wise to wait for the right conditions. Right now at Volvo Cars Edmonton, they've got some exceptional offers to help move the remaining 2023 inventory. So whether your team wants to head to the game in the sporty XC60 or the spacious XC90, you'll get up to $5,000 off or finance rates from 2.49%. Volvo Cars Edmonton is Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Visit 1205 101st Street Southwest or chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com.
At The Brick, we're not just proud of this city and its rich sports history. We're proud partners of it. The Brick started right here in Edmonton over 50 years ago. And when we're not cheering on the Oilers and Oil Kings live at the game, or the Edmonton Elks under the bright stadium lights, we're in our stores, providing everything you need to cheer them on in your home. The Brick, supporting Edmonton sports teams and fans since 1971, saving you more.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 place for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle and get both with a heat pump. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, so the vents stop pushing out tornadoes. Time for a heat pump, bring it to me! Gonna get a deal from Legacy! Your heat pump from Legacy will heat and cool while saving you a bundle in energy costs. Plus, you'll get a rebate up to $5,000 and no payments, no interest for 1 year. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A full-service provider of heavy haul transportation and rigging at the highest level. Next Gen Transportation.
We're developing new and innovative ways to transport oversized and overweight equipment to remote and challenging locations.
Our Next Gen team leads with a wealth of experience and expertise. But most importantly, we put safety first, so everyone gets home safely.
We also take great pride in supporting our local community programs and teams. Good luck to everyone this season and in the year ahead.
Visit nextgentransportation.com.
What does 3 decades of perfecting your craft look like? Ask the guys at Leduc Goldsmiths, locally run and bringing you nothing but quality work and service. Built from the ground up through family, from generation to generation, uncle to nephew, father to son. The pride in their family jewelry store is the pride you take home, bringing you custom and repair work. But it's their face-to-face service that keeps you coming back. Leduc Goldsmiths on Main Street, Leduc. Leduc's jewelry store, family owned and operated for over 30 years.
Noah for Medicine Hat writes, Dear Canadian Tire, it's time for upgrades around the house and upgrades in my toolbox. Any recos? The right tools make all the difference. Cliche, I know, but that's why Canadian Tire carries a wide selection of the tools you need, from brands like Mastercraft, Maximum, DeWalt, Bosch, and Stanley. Get everything you need for home maintenance at Canada's store. This week only, Triangle Rewards members earn 10 times bonus CT money on sockets, wrenches, and portable power tools. Qualifying purchases, conditions apply. Visit CanadianTire.ca or the flyer for more details.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson. Are you one of those people out there looking for something different to heat and cool your home? Weiss Johnson is Edmonton's cold climate heat pump specialist and would love to explain to you how Trane heat pumps are a reliable, cost-effective alternative for your home's heating and cooling needs. Order your Trane heat pump now and take advantage of the generous government rebates that are available. Trane, it's hard to stop a Trane. Call the most experienced HVAC company around with over 45 years in business. Visit wjcools.com today.
What you eating there?
Oh, just a Leon's $10,000 shopping spree in a Chevy Colorado.
How do you plan to get all that from a Big Mac?
Monopoly Double Play.
Monopoly Double Play?
First, I peel on pack, then I peel an app. 2 ways to play and win.
So basically, you're potentially holding the most lucrative Big Mac ever?
No, I'm potentially eating the most lucrative Big Mac ever.
Now you can double play at McDonald's for more ways to win millions of prizes. While supplies last, chances of winning change as prices are claimed. Chances of winning McD's app prices based on time of code entry. See rules at participating McDonald's in Canada or at mcdpromotion.ca.
Get your vehicle ready for winter with Jiffy Lube. Drive-in, drive-out service with 25 extra air miles with your Shell Go Plus app. Be wise, winterize. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. Roads can be dangerous. Accidents happen. If you're injured, Leading Edge experts work with and, more importantly, for you. You don't have to go where your insurer tells you to go. 6 locations in the Edmonton region. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. How are you? Welcome back to the Wednesday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 live in our eWell studios. That's EWEL.ca, where they are more than premium quality electrical products. They will also help you elevate your projects. Contact them, how they can partner with your success. Again, EWEL.ca. And huge sports fans, huge Oiler fans. Like, you should check out their new location there on 116th Ave and 186th Street. Oof, fantastic. You can tell they're sports fans. There's stuff all over the place. You love it. And I know they even play the station. So if you're going there and you're going shopping, you get to hear the station in Ewell when you're in the front entrance. Fantastic. Just waiting at the service desk. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's go in the room now. Brought to you by Next Gen Transportation, heavy haul transport provider. And hey, speaking of heavy hauls, man, congratulations, Devo. He has made the Canadian Olympic bobsleigh team. Well, he's on the Canadian bobsleigh team. And now, of course, going on the world circuit. And then we'll be doing Olympic qualifiers. Could be seeing himself at the Olympics in the next few months. Pretty awesome. As we welcome back to the show our weekly Wednesday guest, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, ace analyst on the NHL Network. He's also analyst now for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Mike Rupp joins us once again. And Rupper, hey, let's start there, man. Geez, the team that you're doing up close and personal, the Penguins. Oh my goodness. What is wrong? What do you see lacking the most so far for them?
All right, so I need to get this straight right out of the gate there, Greg. So I'm working for the Penguins, and I do that with NHL Network. But I will tell you this, for the listeners listening, I will tell you what I feel. And the reason why I'm prefacing is I'm not giving the company line in this situation. Yes. With that being said, I have liked a lot of this Penguins game. And the Penguins in a lot of different, like I'm watching, I like you said, I've been covering, I've been calling some of the games and doing some studio stuff with them. So I follow them very closely. And I'm watching these games, and at the end of the games, and the fans of whatever team you're watching, you guys feel the same way like this sometimes. Like at the end of the game, you just sit there and you're like, what happened? Like, we dominated so many. Like, that game felt so good, except the scoreboard at the end, right? Okay. And I know there's no moral victories in the National Hockey League, but I kept finding myself thinking this with this Penguins team. So I started going back and I'm not a huge analytics guy. I do believe in analytics a lot in hockey, but I use it to support the eye test. The eye test is telling me they deserve better. Let me see what the analytics say. I go in there. This power play that generated only 2 goals up to their last game going against, they got 2 goals against Anaheim in their last game. So they got 4 in the season, but they had 2 going in. And I'm sitting there looking at them and I'm like, this team is generating more the expected goal totals are number 1 in the NHL in the power play. Their expected goal totals overall, number 1 in the National Hockey League. They're number 3 in shots, slot shots, and then passes, connecting in the slot for great scoring chances. They're number 1 in the league. They're generating so much. Prime looks, they're not scoring. Okay, so you say, all right, well, that's great, but you're still not getting goals. Well, they've had situations where the other they've gotten what we call it, goalied a number of times so far this season. And it sounds like that's just a bunch of excuses. So I'll give you the bad stuff now. They've done a lot of great things, but they've also taken foolish penalties at the wrong time. They make dumb decisions at the wrong time in the game, and it ends up in the back of the net. But if you're talking about how they've controlled the game, how Erik Karlsson has fit in with this group, how the power play's doing, everything to me is good. And one thing I'll add too, they're not getting the timely save that they need as well. I actually think that this team, with their record where they are right now, it's almost the opposite of the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks have not played full 60 minutes, but they've gotten wins. The Pittsburgh Penguins have not played full 60 minutes. They've gotten all theirs as losses. You can almost flip. The Pittsburgh Penguins have been playing much better hockey than the Vancouver Canucks, but the standings wouldn't tell you that. So I think this team will be okay.
Okay. The Rangers are playing very well. The Devils and the Islanders, like I look at the Rangers and they're winning, Mike, but they're playing really well. Like their power play is great. Their penalty kill is good. They're not giving up much 5-on-5. Like they played the Oilers here in Edmonton. Now Edmonton wasn't playing very well, to be honest, but the Rangers in the defensive zone gave up little. And in the offensive zone, they were just like, Edmonton was allergic to trying to stop a seam pass, though. So I don't know if it was great seam pass or just Edmonton's inability. But either way, they moved the puck around in the second and third period at will against the Oilers. They won 5 in a row. Well, what do you like about this Rangers team? And is there anything that you've seen early that maybe has you thinking, I might have ranked them a little bit too low, or is it still too early yet for you to want to change your opinion on where? I don't even know where you had the Rangers ranked, but are you higher, lower, or the same on them?
So I think I have them a little bit low. I had them, I think, finishing 4th in the Metro. And right now they're leading the Metro. And I know, like you said, it's early. To your point, though, when they played against the Oilers, like when this team, even the last 2 years, when they're at their best, it's pretty. Like the passes, the seam. I mean, I never seen, outside of maybe Tampa, but Tampa's is mostly on the power play. But I haven't seen many teams attack the seams like that team does. And you mentioned it. It goes Adam Fox, zips it through. You got Artemi Panarin zipping it through. Every player on that team, their seam passes, they put the opposing goalie in some pretty troublesome spots. It's beautiful. The problem in the past has been they didn't really manage games very good. They actually weren't that great defensively. They relied on a very good goaltender and I think a good D-core. This year under Peter Laviolette, that's different. They have more structure. They seem like everybody's bought in. Artemi Panarin's 3rd in the league in points. He looks fantastic. Igor Shesterkin's Igor Shesterkin. I think he's with Vasi out and the way Vasi played last year, I think that Igor is the best goalie in hockey. He's playing that way. And so this team, they're legit. I probably had them too low. They've impressed the heck out of me. It is still early, but all signs are pointing under the new head coach in Laviolette that he's got things going in the right direction.
Mike Rupp joins us from the NHL Network. The Devils and the Islanders, my concern about the Devils at the start of the year was their defense. And when I look at today's NHL, Mike, it's rare that you have success with young defensemen. Yeah. You can have one, having multiple, and it is early. That combined with their goaltending is why I didn't really have New Jersey as a cup contender. I think they could, finish 1st or 2nd in their division. I don't see them as a cup contender because of their defense and their goalie. Is there anything that makes you believe that will change, or do you have the same reservations?
I think that although their D core has been good so far. I mean, with the departures of I keep calling him Adam Graves. My gosh, Ryan Graves. With the departures of Ryan Graves and Damon Severson, that's a lot of minutes. And those are top pair guys. They were top pair last year. So I was like, all right, how's this going to work? You can't just plug in youth and expect it to pick up where veteran guys have kind of got it done. Luke Hughes looks very good. This organization is very high on Kevin Ball. They like the way he plays. They think he's predictable in the way he plays, and they know what they're going to get from him. I think that this team probably at some point over the course of this season, they're going to be deemed and considered a contender. They'll be towards the top of that division and probably the conference. I do think that they'll make a D move at some point for a veteran guy. But right now, I mean, the good thing they have going for them, like you mentioned, with going with youth on the back end sometimes is tough. But when Luke Hughes he's been elevated to the power play 1, he's getting his minutes, he's getting his touches, his confidence is going to be there. I think a lot of times when you have defensemen breaking in the league, they're not necessarily on the first power play, right? And I think that probably helps them. Like, he's going to get some swagger and some hop in his step because that power play is cooking at 42% in the early stages of the season, and he's a part of that now. So it'll be interesting. I do think that they're a contender. I think they'll add some depth on the back end, and there's always going to be the question mark in net. But so far, it's been pretty good.
You look at the Ottawa situation, Mike. I don't. So Dorian didn't tell Vegas that supposedly had lied allegedly. That there was a limited trade clause, which I don't understand why you would do, but whatever. So he did it. But why did it take this long? That's what I don't understand. Like, so in the spring of 2022, right after it happened at the trade deadline, why not just announce it then? Why are we waiting 20 months later? Like, help me understand.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. That happened a long time ago. I will say this, and I wonder, this is just pure speculation by me, but remember when that trade was voided with Dadonov, Vegas kind of looked silly at that time. And if you didn't do anything wrong, and that's me, I want everybody to know that. And maybe this has been something that they've just kept pushing on, this needs to be looked into. The investigation has gone on, and this is the results. I don't know why it's taken as long as it has taken, but I also think that in this situation for the Ottawa Senators, it's like, I get it. You're a new owner. You got Andlauer coming in there, and let's be frank. This organization over the last number of years has had some things going on, right? There's always seems to be some controversy of some sort, and some of them, in this case, Pierre Dorian loses his GM title, loses his job. Sometimes in the past, I feel like he's had to take the brunt of things that probably weren't even his fault. You know what I mean? And but this is an owner coming in here, and he doesn't do business that way. He wants business done a different way. He wants to be held at a higher standard. And if you really want to change things in Ottawa, I think it's erasing that narrative that they're not top class team in this league, and they're trying to change that. So I get it. I think it's a huge punishment. And to your point, it came quite a bit later, but kind of picking if it's a first round pick, like, that's pretty significant.
Oh, it's massive. Right? Like, I like Andlauer. Didn't pull any punches. He said, he wasn't told about this. He wasn't told about the Shane Pinto investigation until after the sale's done. He's like, well, I guess they wanted the seller to get as much as he could. Not saying that these two situations would have necessarily lowered the value of the team very much at all. I'm not sure it would have, to be honest. But it's funny. Gary Bettman and them are punishing Ottawa for not telling the truth about things and withholding information. And then Gary Bettman withheld information from Andlauer during the purchase of the team. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's all the stuff that you want clarity on in this situation, right? Like, and again, even just from what you said, as far as the time frame here, like, how long is this investigation gone on? Like, what did they find? I mean, you mentioned at the top, it's allegedly this, allegedly that. Like, that's what we're going off of right now. And you heard some things from the press conference today that would help you maybe try to connect the dots and figure that out. But yeah, just a messy situation. There's a punishment coming down. There's a change with the Ottawa Senators. And I think the whole idea is to let's park this and let's not have any more controversy with this franchise.
Yeah, well, and you think about it, Dorian's out the same day this comes down. I don't, I think it's maybe a coincidence. I think he was going either way. They're 4-4. Like DJ Smith, how long do you give DJ Smith now as the head coach of Ottawa? A week? 2 weeks? What do you think?
So I wonder how this influences. We were just talking about this on NHL Network. How I don't think that when you remove a GM that it really affects the players today. Like today to go out and play the game, in the next few days, that doesn't really affect you. It's business as usual. Yeah. You're paying attention to what's going on. Maybe it gives you a little kick in the butt because usually when someone's getting removed, things aren't good. So you want to have a response. But I think the response is more like off-season stuff or down the stretch, maybe trade deadline stuff, because when a new GM comes in and you've got Steve Staios taking over, obviously, in his interim role, there's guys that Pierre Dorian brought in there that he's not there anymore. So you're not his guy, and whoever's going to be in there, wants to make changes and whatever the long-term plan is. But, I just think that this, it's something where I think you might get a little bit of a boost because it feels like things are bad and you need to make another first impression, if that makes any sense, and maybe gets the players' attention in some regard. I don't know what it does to DJ Smith. I mean, obviously, whenever they go full-time and announce a full-time GM, that affects him because whoever that full-time GM is not the guy who brought him in. You know what I mean? So I think that's something, but I guarantee you the conversation DJ Smith has had with the Ottawa Senators club inside the room is whatever's happened above us, that stays there. Inside this room, we've got X, Y, and Z to take care of. And, try to use it to galvanize this group. I would say, though, to answer your question, if they don't, I think you've got about 10, 15 more games to start showing something much better than what they've shown. Because this team should be better than what they are right now.
Mike Rupp joins us from the NHL Network. You mentioned Vancouver, Mike. We have a lot of people wondering, where do you come out on the Edmonton Oilers start? There's some people in Edmonton that are very concerned about the Oilers. I'm not one. The Oilers played like crap. I don't discount it, but I think they're a good team who played like crap, and that happens sometimes. And now I think they'll show in the next few weeks the results that they're a good team. Where do you come out on the Oilers?
I'm on that side of it. I think the same. I just like you said, they have not looked good. I'm not going to give the same picture I said about the Penguins. I'm not going to say this team deserves better. I mean, they deserve what they've gotten in a lot of ways so far this year. They haven't been good enough. I do think that they're a good team. I think they will find their way, back to where they're at. But here's where we're at as far as you can always, you can't win a Stanley Cup or a playoff berth in October, but you can lose it. You know what I mean? You could dig a big enough hole where you just can't, especially now with the points, it's so hard to make up ground. I think that's of concern, but think about it every year, and we could date back every single season. We can go back and look. We never talk about the teams that start hot and then they stink the rest of the year. We want to always talk about the teams who start bad. Well, this Edmonton team has done this before, and we've seen them get hot down the stretch, hotter than anybody, right? If there's a team that can get going and runs hot, it's the Edmonton Oilers. I think this team gets moving. I'm not concerned. I mean, does this affect them winning the division? Well, yeah, maybe, but that's probably more so because Vegas hasn't lost in regulation yet. It's probably more Vegas good than Edmonton bad, why they probably won't win the division. But at the end of the day, you just want to play the right style, go down the stretches. I do think this team will be fine.
Rupper, great stuff as always, man. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful Wednesday, and we will chat with you next week.
All right, Greg. Take care, buddy.
There you go. That is Mike Rupp from the NHL Network. Feels the Penguins team that's playing better than the record. So, for those of you out there, think about some interesting numbers about their power play. Creating tons of chances, not getting anything done. So we'll Will the tide turn in favor of the Penguins' penalty kill or power play? We'll find out. 423. Your opportunity to help your neighbor. Next, we'll open up the phone lines, 833-401-1440. We had easy trivia earlier this week. It'll be a little bit harder, and you can win that, and then you can qualify for all the great prizes. We'll tell you what they are next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. PlayAlberta.ca.
Order the juice, get the points. Now at Booster Juice, it's rewarding to be loyal. Introducing the Booster Rewards app, the reward program to give you a boost. Order on the app and enjoy 1 berry point for every $1 you spend. Redeem it for tasty Booster Juice treats, like your favorite smoothie, a booster ball, grilled fresh wraps and paninis, and cool Booster Juice merch. And with the Booster Rewards app, the more you order, the more you enjoy. Download the Booster Rewards app today. Order, earn, enjoy.
You know, I got into reffing for the excitement.
He's going for the chair.
Turns out wrestling is completely scripted. But you know what's exciting and unscripted? PlayAlberta.ca. With an all-new sportsbook, odds boosts, and betting on any game.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today with promo code SPORTS50 and get a $50 free bet. Official gaming partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Hi, I'm Colin from Cantork. The call letters and studio have changed, yet Edmonton's passion for sports endures. Cantork proudly continues our partnership with Jason Gregor and is eager to get back in the game on Sports 1440.
What you eating there?
Oh, just a Leon's $10,000 shopping spree in a Chevy Colorado.
How do you plan to get all that from a Big Mac?
Monopoly Double Play.
Monopoly Double Play?
First, I peel on pack, then I peel an app. 2 ways to play and win.
So basically, you're potentially holding the most lucrative Big Mac ever?
No, I'm potentially eating the most lucrative Big Mac ever.
Now you can double play at McDonald's for more ways to win millions of prizes. While supplies last, chances of winning change as prizes are claimed. Chances of winning McD's app prizes based on time of code entry. See rules at participating McDonald's in Canada or at mcdpromotion.ca.
Does anyone buy an RV in the fall? I mean, why would you go to all the trouble to find just the right one when you can't enjoy it until the spring? Only someone like Rick Showers from Noble RV would know the answer. Ain't that right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. You'd be surprised how many people buy their RV from us in the fall. It's a buyer's market. The people who sell their RVs with us are often a little more motivated to sell this time of year. And that means a better deal for you. And when you buy your quality used RV from No Bull now, I cover the cost of storage and winterization for the coming winter. So you can pick it up in the spring, ready to roll, without paying an extra cent.
Winterization and storage? That can cost quite a bit, Rick.
Not when you come to No Bull. Our inventory is constantly changing. Something we have today, we might not have in the spring. So the best time to find the RV that's right for you is anytime.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
This is Brent from Fortis, Alberta, still keeping the power on in our community. I'm actually climbing the poles that my dad put up, back when they dug the holes by hand. There's been so much change since then, like solar and wind and powering EVs. But one thing has remained the same. Fortis Alberta empowers Albertans by providing safe and reliable electricity. We're the line that connects us all. Learn more about your modern power grid at fortisalberta.com.
Noah from Medicine Hat writes, Dear Canadian Tire, it's time for upgrades around the house and upgrades in my toolbox. Any recos? The right tools make all the difference. Cliché, I know, but that's why Canadian Tire carries a wide selection of the tools you need. From brands like Mastercraft, Maximum, DeWalt, Bosch, and Stanley. Get everything you need for home maintenance at Canada's store. This week only, Triangle Rewards members earn 10 times bonus CT money on sockets, wrenches, and portable power tools. Qualifying purchases, conditions apply. Visit CanadianTire.ca or the flyer for more details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. There's something going on every day at OTR on Monday. Bingo Tunes, Taco Tuesday, karaoke on Wednesday, Salsa Night Thursday, and live music every weekend on the OTR stage with DJ Kenny K. On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
427. Welcome back. Jason Gregor Show. Time to help your neighbor. Call us. We'll play a little trivia. 833-401-1440. It's the same as a text line. Text or phone. But yeah, you got to call it. Dial it up. Play a little trivia. Up for grabs today. You are going to qualify in a spot. Number one, if you get it correct, you'll automatically get the Sports 1440 hat. Nice. They're very sleek, actually. And then you'll go into the draw to help your neighbor, courtesy of Legacy Heating and Cooling. This is a fantastic package. And we'll do the draw on Monday, November 20th. If your name is drawn, you will win a pair of tickets to the Oilers game on Friday, December 8th. They're lower bowl seats where the Oilers attack twice. Pretty good tickets. Okay, so you'll get that. You also will have the luxury of winning a Google Nest or an Ecobee smart thermostat, courtesy of Legacy Heating and Cooling. Right? That's what you get. That's what you be yours to keep. And then the main prize. You are going to gift a high efficiency Goodman 96% gas furnace, courtesy of Legacy Heating. They're going to, now that includes a thermostat installed. That includes all of the permanent inspection fees. They will actually take out this person's old furnace. They'll install the new one. Comes 5-year labor, 10-year parts warranty, and a lifetime heat exchanger warranty on the furnace. So now here's the rules. When you gift it to somebody, that person cannot live in your house. It can't be, give it to your partner or your spouse. You can gift it to anybody else. Sibling, friend, coworker, someone in the neighborhood that you know, just somebody who really needs a new furnace. You're gonna make their day. All right. They have to own their home and reside within 100 kilometers of Edmonton. Okay. 833-401-1440. Okay. That is that's the number to call as we will play a little trip. Now it was easy last time, Cons. I think our first guest got it right out of the hop. And so we'll make it a little bit more difficult. Not crazy, but I would think, maybe if someone's paying attention, they could get it right away, but maybe not. So we'll see. We go to Doug. Doug, good afternoon. How are you doing?
It is great. Thanks, Jason.
All right, Doug. Okay. Can you tell me who leads the Edmonton Oilers in shots on goal? Got a guess? Draisaitl. Ooh, good guess, Doug. Incorrect. 833-401-1440. Rob, do you know who leads the Oilers in shots on goal?
I'm going to guess Warren Fogle.
Warren Skogel. No. Score. We like to call him so far this year has been Warren Skorgel, but no. He is 5th currently on the team. 21 shots. He's hitting the net way more this year, which is good. Ryan, who leads the Oilers in shots on goal?
It's the German guy.
Leon Draisaitl? He was already being good. Yes, not Leon. The German guy. I like it. Yes. That German, what's his name? The German guy. Leon Draisaitl. It is not. What do the kids call him? Neon Leon? I think so. Right? No. So there you go. 833-401-1440. Who leads the Oilers in shots on goal? Had a few people hang up. You don't hang up. Just make a guess. You never know. You could be right. You might have just cost someone a brand new furnace. You don't have to know the answer. Like, just guess a player on the team. You never know. Jason, do you know the answer?
Nugent Hopkins.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins. No. The Nuge is currently 6th on the Oilers with 19 shots. Fogle is 5th. Draisaitl, in case you're wondering, he's 2nd. 833-401-1440 as we go to Matt. Matt, do you know the answer?
The Kane?
Evander Kane. He is 3rd. You guys are all around it here. We've had all top 6 picks. It's good. They're good selections. But not correct. Shane, do you know the answer, Shane?
Is it Hyman?
Zach Hyman. He is 4th.
Oh.
So we've got the 2nd, Draisaitl, 3rd, Kane, 4th, Hyman, 5th, Fogle, 6th, Nugent-Hopkins. Do you know the answer? Who leads the orders in shots on goal? Aaron? Do you know?
Is it Holloway?
Dylan Holloway. No, he is 9th. 12. Ooh, Jesus. You know what? I like it. It's going to last a little bit longer than we thought. Some of you are texting in. You're yelling at you. This is where you're yelling at your radio now, right? I like it. Ian, do you know who leads the orders in shots on goal so far this season?
Yeah, is it Evan Bouchard?
It is indeed Evan Bouchard, who has 27 shots. 3 goals already for Mr. Bouchard. So there you go, man. Ian, you have qualified. So automatically you get to win the Sports 1440 hat. You are now in the draw where if your name is drawn on Monday, November 20th, you will win the Nominator Prize, which is pair of order seats, lower bowl, where the orders attack twice on Friday, December 8th at home. And then, of course, the Google Nest or Ecobee Smart Thermostat. And then most importantly, you are going to be able to gift someone in your circle a brand new high-efficiency furnace from Legacy Heating and Cooling. I know you just won, but is there anybody that you can think of that you're like, oof, they could use a new furnace?
Well, I'll see if the parents' house is getting a little older. See if they need a new furnace. Maybe the brother. See who needs it more.
Well, there you go. Shop around, find out. It's amazing when you ask people suddenly, hey, does anybody know anybody who needs a furnace? And then wait, somebody does. Well, stay on the line. Connor will get all your information, and you're in the draw.
Right on. Thanks, Gregor.
There you go. So if you're listening every day, maybe now's the time maybe to just subtly, hey, casual workout, around the water cooler at work. You never know. All of a sudden, someone just says, you know what, man, it's been really tough here. We need a furnace bad. Because you know what it is? It's starting to get chilly now. And there's people out there, like, that's a life-changing gift. A brand new high-efficiency furnace. It's a huge tab, number one. $7,000, right? Plus all the installation, everything, the disposal of your old one, everything. And the comfort of just having a good working furnace. It's probably going to be more high efficiency than the one they're using now. So it's going to lower their bills. It's going to save them more money every month. It's a huge, huge prize. So big thanks to everybody at Legacy Heating for donating that. I love it. I love it. We had a lot of people were texting in. Obviously, it's McDavid. No. Remember, Connor missed 2 games. And even if he hadn't missed those games, he has 15 shots on goal in 6 games, which is for McDavid. And that's why what's funny is we talk about a lot of the things at this 2-5-1 start. Like Connor McDavid, by his lofty standards, he's been a little bit quiet. And like McDavid's yet to have, and you know what I'm talking about. That game where you watch and it's like 6 or 7 times you're going, oh my goodness. He ends up with 4 points. He's got the puck on a string the entire game. The other team is like just, scared spitless when he's on the ice. And he's had many of those games. He hasn't had one of those yet this year. So it's coming. And when that comes, it's like lots of other people feed off it. I think the orders are due for a little string here. I honestly do believe that Calgary game got him in a better frame of mind. I think the family skate and having lots of people around, I honestly think it helped them. It took their mind off some things, kind of made them realize, like, stop, woe is me, feeling sorry for ourselves. I think they'll be better. I think Connor Brown is going to start producing. Not huge numbers, but he's going to produce. Mark my word. I think by the end of the season, Connor Brown is still going to be an 18 to 20 goal scorer unless he has an injury that takes out a significant part of the season. That's just what I think. I think there's lots of things that are going positive moving forward here for the Edmonton Oilers, and I think the results are going to start showing it. The schedule maker helps too, Connor. The schedule maker helps.
Yeah, Gregor, just wanted to hop in quickly. The WHL announcing that starting on Friday, neck guards or protection will be mandatory around the league.
Okay, so that's just coming down.
Yeah, so obviously maybe reactionary, but they don't want an incident like what happened, right? So yeah, that'll be on Friday or as soon as protective equipment is available to the clubs.
Okay, so if a club doesn't get it in by Friday,
yeah,
then they're not going to be punished. They have to show that they've tried to do it. And you know what? Like I've said before, when it's not your job, to me it's different. I'm sorry. NHL rules are NHL rules. What you do in U9 and U15, even in the WHL, it's different. It just is. It's not your job. So I think it's a wise decision by them, especially because most of the kids that are coming to the WHL in major midget, they're all wearing neck guards. Right. So it's not like these players are 10 years removed from wearing it. Some of them are like 6 months. Right. I don't think it's going to be a huge thing for the young players in the Western Hockey League. I don't see it at all. I kind of support this decision. And I'm not one to make knee jerks. Like I said, NHL is very different. I treat pros is just different, right? It is. So, and not saying that it's not. Now, it's something that the individual players themselves might want to wear, right? And I'm sure if we talk to TJ Oshie, right, I'd be curious how many phone calls his company War Road has received about their product that they have, which is the undershirt with a Kevlar neck protector and a Kevlar wrist protection. I'd be very curious. Hey, guys, you think you'll see full cages mandatory in junior next? You know what? I don't know. Honestly, like a full cage is going to protect your teeth. Right? And I guess it'll protect your eyes for sure. Again, I don't. The neck guard doesn't change your vision. It doesn't limit you in your vision. When you wear the full face shield, there are some blind spots. That's not a debate. That's not up for discussion. That's just the truth, right? It's different. The neck guard is completely uninhibiting your ability to play the game. It doesn't alter, have a sudden blind spot. Oh, geez. You might feel something rub on your neck if you want to claim that you do or not. And honestly, I don't think that matters. So I think that would be a little bit different, right? So we'll see how it goes. Hey, Gregor, there's full cage mandatory in the Capital Junior Hockey League. Yeah, but do you know that they used to have full cages mandatory in the Capital Junior League, and then they went back to visors, and now they went back to full cages? Right? They had full cages in the 90s in the jungle. And then they went back to visors, and then have gone back now again to full shields. So a little bit different. Again, though, the neck guard to me is a much easier thing to wear for a player than a full shield once you've gotten used to playing without a full shield and wearing a visor. Right? I think it's different. Like players will tell you, especially looking down sometimes, pucks in your feet, you can just see it better. 442, we'll come back. We got 5 questions and more on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Looking to tackle your backyard projects with power and precision this fall? Look no further than Kubota compact tractors. Experience the perfect blend of compact size and unbeatable value with Kubota. Right now, take advantage of financing as low as 0% for up to 84 months and save up to $1,500 on select models. Plus, as the temperature drops, get ready for Alberta winters with confidence with Kubota Performance Match snowblowers, sweeper, and blades. Visit Edmonton Kubota today for details.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly here from United Sport and Cycle. Christmas is just around the corner, and we've got everything for the athlete and sports fan on your list, including United gift cards. United Sport and Cycle, your Santa's workshop for over 95 years.
Winter weather is hard on your vehicle. Help keep it in top shape with Pennzoil Ultra Motor Oil from Jiffy Lube. Oil changes on your schedule and 25 bonus air miles with your Shell Go Plus app. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson. Are you one of those people out there looking for something different to heat and cool your home? Weiss Johnson is Edmonton's cold climate heat pump specialist and would love to explain to you how Trane heat pumps are a reliable, cost-effective alternative for your home's heating and cooling needs. Order your Trane heat pump now and take advantage of the generous government rebates that are available. Trane, it's hard to stop a Trane. Call the most experienced HVAC company around with over 45 years in business. Visit wjcools.com today.
This is Brent from Fortis, Alberta, still keeping the power on in our community. My dad actually used to do the same thing, but with a lot less technology. There's been so much change since then, like solar and wind and powering EVs. But one thing has remained the same. Fortis Alberta empowers Albertans by providing safe and reliable electricity. We're the line that connects us all. Learn more about your modern power grid at fortisalberta.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Try the new butter chicken pizza made with velvety, tangy, sweet sauce topped with juicy grilled chicken, green peppers, and onions. Large butter chicken pizza for $19.99 for a limited time at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. A few games tonight in the NHL. A pivotal game in the World Series. Connor Halley. So we'll see what happens there. Also, you have, as Connor mentioned, the WHL announcing that starting as early as Friday, it will be mandatory to wear neck guards / neck protection, assuming all the teams can get that stuff in time. So, I'm sure if it's not Friday for some, it'd probably be Saturday or Sunday at the latest. So, looks like a change coming there. Honestly, I don't, for fans or the players, that one, it's not going to change how you view the game. You're going to notice it, and I don't think the players are going to notice it. I think that's a pretty easy change at that level for sure. Let's get to 5 questions now. Brought to you by The Brick. Get your kitchen ready for holiday entertaining with the Brick's President Sale. When you buy more, you save more, up to $300 off select major kitchen appliances. Find the perfect fit for your holiday home this season at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Gregor, what do you expect from Sam Gagner in his third go-around with the Edmonton Oilers, and do you think he plays here for the remainder of the season?
Ooh, that's a good question. What do I expect? Well, I think Sam Gagner is going to bring a joie de vie to the dressing room as far as somebody who appreciates every moment in the NHL now. Right, he's obviously on the tail end of his career. He's played 1,015 NHL games already. That's nuts. But I do not think he will be here at the end of the season. And I think the Oilers have a small roster, and I think they'll make some additions to their fourth line by the trade deadline.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. Great guy to have around the room, though, right? Good to have it there, maybe that 13th forward. But I just want to see him get out there and see, how he looks, how the speed of the game, can he keep up still after those surgeries this offseason? I know he did it at the AHL, but really intrigued to see how he looks. Question number 2 for you. What's going to happen first? The Sharks win, or the Bruins or Vegas lose in regulation?
Well, that's a good question. Well, the Sharks have honestly, the Sharks aren't very good. Toronto plays Boston. Vegas has Winnipeg. San Jose has Vancouver. And all those teams are at home. I think status quo then. The following game, Boston, Detroit. Well, and Boston's without McAvoy. So I'll say for sure Boston's going to lose a regulation game before the Sharks win a game.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. Potentially the Avs taking on Vegas on Saturday could be tough. So I'll go with that one. I think the Sharks, it'd be funny to see how long they go before they find pick up a win. Question number 3 for you is the World Series end tonight with the Rangers leading 3-1.
You know what? The Diamondbacks will find a way to win a game at home. They don't come back to not winning the series, but I think they find a way to extend this one more night. I guess technically 2 more nights, because then they would have a day off and they would play on Friday.
I'm going to say it ends tonight. Eovaldi out there on the mound for the Rangers.
He's good, man.
He's good.
He's
so
very good.
I think that'll be tough. Hope the Diamondbacks can extend it, but I think the Rangers wrap it up tonight. Now that we've seen the first NFL head coach and I suppose general manager get fired with the Vegas Raiders last night, who do you think is next, if there's anyone?
I don't think there'll be one until, what do they call it, Black Monday in the NFL, when the season ends the next day. There's quite a few casualties. I think that's what's going to happen. I think some teams look and just say, you know what, we're this deep in it. What's the benefit now to do it? Think about it. You just fired a coach who has 4.5 years remaining on his contract. That's all guaranteed money, right? They fired John Gruden. How many? Didn't he have 6 years left, Connor? As well, this is Al Davis must just be, frothing at the mouth in his grave, as much about his son's haircut as he is about the decisions he's made as the GM. Sorry, not the GM, as the owner.
Just trying to look it up. When Gruden was let go, he was in a 10-year contract worth $100 million.
Yeah.
And now McDaniels, like you said, 4 years.
He's got 4.5 because he's got half of this year. It's only half.
4.5 with roughly $60 million is what he was given. So they're it's ridiculous management by the Raiders.
Yeah, he's basically given $10 million a year, and he's been paid 15 of that. So he's owed $45 million not to coach for their team. $45 million not to coach for your team.
Great gig if you can get it.
Oh yeah, good for him.
For me, I'll say if it is anyone, I'll go Riverboat Ron Rivera with the Commanders. They're obviously selling. I think they might want to look for a new coach to take them in that next step. But I, like you, don't think it will happen until the end of the season. But he's had some very questionable decisions, things that made him great. Doesn't seem like he's doing them anymore. So I'll say Ron Rivera with the Commanders. Final question. We're into November. The year is almost over. So if you had to pick one, what is the best thing about the month of November?
Well, Remembrance Day, I think, without question. It's a great day to remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. It's a good little education for lots of people. I think there's some cool events that happen. No Stone Left Alone. I love that foundation. It started in Edmonton and has now become worldwide, right? So I'm going to go with Remembrance Day. I think it's an important one to and I think more important now than ever to, when you see what's going on in other places in the world, which is awful, how lucky we are that we're not involved in that. As a country, I know some individual listeners out there they have got family involved right now in the Middle East, which is terrible. And, involved in Ukraine and Russia and other places. if you take a step back, we're so ridiculously lucky to live where we are. Like, we're the worst thing that happens in Canada. Really, like when you consider, like, what's the worst thing that we have to endure in Canada? The worst thing was we had to stay home for a few weeks. Like, honestly, some days I think, some of the people who complain might need to take a little bit of a dose of reality and go look at what happens in other countries and what they have to live through. We are extremely lucky. Like, the worst in Canada is nothing compared to other places.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what? If you're at West Edmonton Mall, if you're on YouTube, you can see I got this poppy here. You give a little extra money, they'll give you one with a back piece that you can actually plug into the back, so you won't lose your poppy. So make sure you throw a 5.
Where'd you do that at? I need one because I lose mine every year. It's the worst.
Right by
I bought one this morning and it's gone. Mine didn't even last 3 hours. God, I'm such an idiot. Like, I'm the worst at pinning them on. Like, I have that black coat. It's really thick.
Yeah.
I put it on. Yeah, great. Gone. I don't even think it lasted 2 hours. I don't know what happened to it. It's awful. Like, I'm the worst.
Take a walk down to the Ice Palace. There's a few nice ladies there, top and bottom level. And you just throw in a couple bucks, they'll give you the nice one. So that's certainly a good one.
The backing's that's a game changer.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Wonder why it took us so long, but still, hey, that's good. That, like, when you think of unique, very simple, and that's not even an invention really, but that one, that's a very good one. And I need one.
It's certainly a game changer. Gregor, for me, outside of Remembrance Day, I'm a big fan of American Thanksgiving. Doesn't really benefit me in any way other than the football. So,
and the Chargers never play on it, do they?
Well, one in like the last 20 years.
Okay.
Beat up on the Cowboys. It was a great day. So I really enjoyed it back then. And Gregor, this also, I'm just breaking news here. This is sad news. Longtime NCAA coach at Indiana, Bob Knight, passing away at the age of 83. That just coming down about 20 minutes ago. So, college basketball Hall of Famer. I believe a basketball Hall of Fame. Yeah, Bob Knight passing away here.
Yeah. So there you go. Let's get to we got a few more text line in 833-401-1440. We'll get to a lot of those coming up in a second, but first let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by the Edmonton Oilers. Don't miss your orders tomorrow night as they take on the Dallas Stars at 7 p.m. Great tickets are selling fast. Secure yours now at EdmontonOilers.com/tickets and make Rogers Place the ultimate home ice advantage.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
4 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. The Sabres head to Philly in about 10 minutes at 6:30. The Stars taking on the Flames. At 7:30, you've got the Avs up against the Blues. And then to wrap it all up at 8, Coyotes taking on the Anaheim Ducks. The Oilers back in action tomorrow with the Stars in town. Pierre Dorion is no longer the GM of the Ottawa Senators. Team owner Michael Andlauer made the announcement during a press conference today, adding that President of Hockey Operations Steve Stales will take over the GM duties on an interim basis. The move was made hours after the NHL announced that the Sens would forfeit one of their next 3 first-round picks as a result of a punishment stemming from the 2021 trade that sent Evgeny Dadonov to the Vegas Golden Knights, an invalidated trade that would have sent the forward to the Anaheim Ducks in March of 2022. Washington Capitals center Nicholas Backstrom is taking a leave of absence from the team from what he called an ongoing injury situation after a slow start to the season with his artificial left hip. And he said he needs to determine his next steps and viable options moving forward. Game 5 of the World Series goes tonight as the Rangers look to wrap it all up, leading the Diamondbacks 3-1. First pitch just over an hour away. And in the association, the Raptors are in action, hosting a 2-1 Milwaukee Bucks. Tip off at 5. Elsewhere, Pistons host the Portland Trailblazers. Celtics taking on the Pacers. Brooklyn is in Miami. The Nuggets in Minnesota. Mavs hosting the Bulls, and the Warriors up against the Kings. It's one game tonight in the AJ's. White Court hosts Grand Prairie. That one starts at 7. Some sad news is legendary basketball coach Bob Knight has passed away at the age of 83. His family made that announcement. And some news coming from the WHL as they've announced that mandatory neck guard protection will be adopted for all players effective on Friday, November 3rd, or as soon as the protective equipment is available to the clubs. That will be for all on-ice activities, including games and practices. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and former pro basketball player and coach Paul Sir. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Being on this road together means saving twice during the Fountain Tire Road Ready sales event. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires. Plus, get a bonus $50 off any service until December 16th. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Ugh, fine print.
5-time Alberta Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints are celebrating their 20th season in Spruce Grove. Be part of the action and enjoy some of the best Junior A hockey Canada has to offer by experiencing a Saints game for your next outing. Tickets range from $9 to $15 with free parking and some of the best food and drink specials in town. For more information on tickets and how you can become a partner, go to sprucegrovesaints.ca.
You know, I got into reffing for the excitement.
He's going for the chair!
Turns out wrestling is completely scripted. But you know what's exciting and unscripted? PlayAlberta.ca. With an all-new sportsbook, odds boost, and betting on any game.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today with promo code SPORTS50 and get a $50 free bet. Official gaming partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit bieeng.com.
Looking to tackle your backyard projects with power and precision this fall? Look no further than Kubota compact tractors. Experience the perfect blend of compact size and unbeatable value with Kubota. Right now, take advantage of financing as low as 0% for up to 84 months and save up to $1,500 on select models. Plus, as the temperature drops, get ready for Alberta winters with confidence with Kubota Performance Match snowblowers, sweeper, and blades. Visit Edmonton Kubota today for details.
What you eating there?
Oh, just a Leon's $10,000 shopping spree in a Chevy Colorado.
How do you plan to get all that from a Big Mac?
Monopoly Double Play.
Monopoly Double Play?
First, I peel unpack, then I peel an app. 2 ways to play and win.
So basically, you're potentially holding the most lucrative Big Mac ever?
No, I'm potentially eating the most lucrative Big Mac ever.
Now you can double play at McDonald's for more ways to win millions of prizes. While supplies last, chances of winning change as prizes are claimed. Chances of winning McD's app prizes based on time of code entry. See rules at participating McDonald's in Canada or at mcdpromotion.ca.
When Ottawa's proposed electricity regulations make electricity unreliable, the things you rely on won't work when needed. Your hot water, computer, washer and dryer, electric car, TV, lights, mobile phone, stove, your heat in -30. Visit tellthefeds.ca to learn why Canada's power grid will be unreliable. And tell the feds, reliable and affordable electricity matters. A message from the Government of Alberta.
There's nothing like having a little skin in the game to make things interesting. But when a little skin becomes more than you can afford to lose, it's time to take a break from sports betting. Set a budget and stick to it. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Roger Weert and his team at Weert, Pearson, Akelin Associates, Private Wealth Management, helping business owners and professionals build, protect, and enjoy their wealth. Earn more now and call Roger and his team at 988-4119.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We got no fear, no doubt.
Just after 5 o'clock, welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 live on Oilers Nation YouTube. Thanks as always for being involved in the conversation on there. Or of course, you can text us 833-401-1440 in our Jiffy Lube inbox. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where mama, Lotto 649 tonight. How about that? $28 million in the gold ball jackpot. If you want to do a lottery, they got live dealer, of course, casino, sports, whatever you do, stay within your limits. Use your game sense. Go to gamesense.ab.ca. Oiler news today. Not much. Sam Gagner was on the ice. Looks like Stuart Skinner could be in goal tomorrow night for the Edmonton Oilers, which means we'll probably see Jack Campbell on Saturday afternoon against the Nashville Predators, who he stopped 42 of 43 shots against for their first victory of the season this year. Defense pairings were the same. Nurse, CC. Bouchard was back with Ekholm, no surprise, and he's played there a lot. Desharnais with Kulak. Broberg was the seventh defenseman. Matthias Janmark not on the ice. He will not play tomorrow, so they'll go 11-7 again. What was interesting a little bit was they had the top two lines were really 5 forwards in white: McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman. And then they had in the blue jerseys Fogle, McLeod, Holloway, Ryan, Sam Gagner, and Connor Brown. So we'll see. Remember it against Calgary, Ryan McLeod was really the fourth line center in a lot of the shifts, and they were rotating amongst the third line. So we'll see. Maybe they do that again tomorrow. We'll find out. Let's get to the spec report now, brought to you by GS Construction. They will be celebrating 50 years in business next year. You want to work for a great company that's been around. It's a very stable company to work for. Lots of great benefits. Go to Indeed.com and look up GS Construction. They do tons in the community. As we welcome back to the show from Rogers Sportsnet, Mark Spector. And man, Spec is just smiling today, very excited that his wife, Shelka, doesn't abide by the same rules as the NHL. Could you imagine the mistakes you made 2 years ago, Spec, if you had to pay for it today, like the Ottawa Senators did?
Hey, I paid for them then, and I'm still paying for them today, pal. You're married, aren't you, too?
Oh, yeah. No, not very often. I think I've learned enough that I don't. My wife's got. She's pretty easygoing, so I rarely. I have to say, I don't think I've ever actually been in the doghouse. I've heard stories of guys in the doghouse for doing really dumb stuff. Most of the dumb stuff I've done doesn't involve her, so she just kind of shakes her head. So, so I never have to go in the doghouse for my stupidity. So
there you go. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
first round pick, Spec. So if the worst thing Dorian did was lie, which is, Friedman, I think, had it in his 32 thoughts saying that, he didn't divulge that to Vegas. Supposedly they asked and he said, no, there was no, now this, from Elliott. So, supposedly, Spec, that they didn't tell him that he had the 10-team no trade list. Okay. So let's just say that's all true, right? So you're going to now take away a first round pick because of that. Then it happened back in the summer of 2021. And the guys who handed down this discipline, Spec, are the same guys. Then you're giving someone a loss of a first round pick for not divulging the truth. And we as the NHL, oh, hey, Mr. Andlauer. Oh, no. We're not going to tell you about this. We're not going to tell you about the Shane Pinto thing, but you buy the team. And that's okay for us. Like, the hypocrisy is disgusting.
I saw exactly the same thing. They did not divulge certain information to him that only the NHL would have known, right?
Yes.
The thing about this one that I don't really understand, and I think I'd have to talk to, in fact, I will talk to like Bill Scott next time I see him, the Oilers cap guy. All of these things, no trade lists, any kind of caveat surrounding any kind of contract, it's all down on paper somewhere. It's all part, every contract begins with the standard player's contract. And then there's conditions and trade, no trade lists and how many times do I get to redo? Must I refile my no trade list, right? Lots of guys have to refile it every year. In year 3 of my contract, my 5-team no trade list can go to 10. There's all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't Vegas access that? Why is it not in a computer database for Vegas to access? Why? I'm not saying it's right that Dorian kept it private, but to me, that's a pretty lousy system the National Hockey League has. If every single team who's looking at trading for Evgeny Dadonov can't just go into the system and see the entirety of his contract, not just part of it, the whole thing. And the NHL saying, oh, well, yeah, our system, I mean, their system's no good. You're right. They're holding back stuff from Andlauer, and they're dinging Ottawa for the whole thing. I don't like it much either.
Yeah. Like this far after the fact, like if you want to punish Dorian for it, I have no problem. Why not punish him right after it happened? Right. So Vegas and Anaheim are upset. And so that happens in March of 2022. You have April, you have May. The Senators weren't in the playoffs. Make the decision then before the draft. Like, what type of deep dive in, like, the NHL, all they're showing here is their investigations might be the longest drawn out investigations in the world. And because clearly there's only two things that happen here, Spec. Either they told them or they withheld the information knowingly or unknowingly. That's it. Like, there's nothing else that could happen here to negate the trade, right? There's nothing else that I can think of. Can you?
No. And that's, this is, it's like, I've been a journalist for a long time, and from my side of it, the lack of information just creates a vacuum, and it sends all the guys like you and me and Drager and LeBrun and Elliot Friedman to work. Let's find out what really happened here. And I am so unimpressed with the NHL's transparency.
Oh,
they make this decision. Right. They make this decision on Pride tape unilaterally. It's the dumbest decision you ever heard. Travis Dermott puts some on a stick and then they flip-flop, and there's no culpability. There's no NHL saying, man, did we screw that up? That would go a long ways. Well, they don't do that. They send out the Shane Pinto ruling with zero information as to what's really going on. Guys have been digging on that for a week, and we're going to find out more about that, I guarantee you. And now this one comes out, and there's still all these question marks. Meanwhile, the Ottawa Senators lose a first-round pick. I don't like any of it, pal. Like, run your business more transparently. Fans pay a lot of money for the National Hockey League. They deserve better.
Oh, 100%. What are your expectations for Sam Gagner?
My expectations for Sam Gagner, that's a good question. I guess in the best world, he's your fourth line center, and he wins some, he has a good face-off percentage. He kills some penalties for you, and he never gets scored on. That's what you're hoping for. How many goals is he going to get? How long is he going to stay? In your wildest dreams, your fourth line center gets 10 goals if he plays 82 games. So you tell me, what should we expect offensively from Sam Gagner? 5 goals, 6 goals? What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's fair, right? I'm not sure how long he'll be here. That's the other question, right? Like I'm not
either.
When I look at Ryan and Gagner, if they go with 11 forwards, and technically that's your 10th and 11th forward, I'm not sure if either one's here at the deadline or in the lineup after the trade deadline, right? Like, I think Edmonton is going to want to revamp that. They're going to want to get a little bit, add some different dimensions to their fourth line. And so, which is fine. Lots of teams do that. What you have in your roster in October isn't necessarily what you have in your roster come March. That happens to lots of contending teams. I think they're hoping that Sam Gagner can maybe bring a little bit more offensive creativity to the game right now. I think that's what they're looking for. Like, finish off a play or set up some other guys for some plays. I think that's what they'll be looking for. Adam Ernie, Adam Ernie is what he is. It's funny. He actually led his team in scoring and goals one year in Detroit. So you know what? Hey, guys, blind squirrel can find an acorn. So he did that. But Adam Ernie's not really an offensive minded player. He's goes up and down the wing, will block shots, but he didn't really do a lot. Now, granted, the last game he played 3 minutes, I know, but in other games when you played 7 or 8 minutes, you didn't really know much. I saw him miss 2 or 3 really good chances from Derek Ryan, and I think that might actually be the downfall of Adam Ernie was just his inability. He put himself in the right spot and then couldn't cash.
Yeah, Derek Ryan is the guy on that line. Like, he's the one fourth line player in Edmonton that you can count on to create some offensive chances. He's really smart. Mm-hmm. It's too bad that he's older and not really quick anymore and not very big, but he plays the game with his brain. How many great looking hockey players have we seen come through town over the years that can't figure out how to play? Ryan's the opposite. He looks like a guy walking down the street, like the pharmacist that he wanted to be, right? But he's a smart player. So he'll furnish some chances. I'm going to tell you, like I told you yesterday, Jay, I don't think you can have a fourth line when the push comes to shove in March and April and May with Gagner and Ryan on it. You're too small.
I agree.
You're too small. You need more size. So I think Ryan's here to stay. I think it's the other guys that get shuffled around.
Okay. You look, we've talked a lot about some guys who have to get going. I was doing some number crunching, and obviously the bottom of the lineup hasn't scored very much. But did you know the Edmonton Oilers forward group is 30th in goals? Even if the fourth line and the guys are producing, they're not all scoring a goal, right? They're not all going to have a goal right now through 8 games. You'd like it, but it's very rare. I looked around the league, nobody has it. Their top guys, their top 2 lines have a total combined of 16 goals. They had 23 goals through the first 8 games last year, their top 6 guys. And so even the Oilers' top 6 spec, they haven't finished. They haven't produced. They haven't played as well offensively as they should. The power play is at only 24%. And you're 29 for 5 years, they're not producing to the level that they're capable of. Like October was bad all around. It's hard to find any element where you can, there's some individuals. Warren Fogle had a really good month, right? I think he had a good month. I'd probably give Zach Hyman, Leon Draisaitl pretty good. But there's lots of other guys that can play better. And overall, it's some guys who just need to score more. And so I really think November, the Oilers get back to the team that they should be. But that does include the top 6. I don't want to excuse the top 6 because I don't think collectively as a top 6, they've done enough finishing around the net.
Well, remember Teemu Selanne? He used to talk about the ketchup bottle. He used to say, you start pounding on that ketchup bottle, and eventually it all comes out at once. Right? So, this is the theory. I think we see it, and we've watched hockey long enough, everybody out there. We've seen an Oilers team that for a bunch of games early on, they did not look like a team that was about to get a bunch of offense. Nothing like it. Like that Rangers game, forget it. The Philly game, there's no offense there.
No.
But we have seen recently some games here where, you're getting a feeling like they're starting to come, right? There's more guys being productive. I thought, Brown's a good example. He had 3 or 4 chances in that Calgary game that made you think something's on the horizon. So I think you're right. I think the ketchup bottle's probably, hopefully for them in a place where once it comes, it really starts to come. Once the big boys get going, the guys below them get going. We've seen this Oilers team lead the league in offense, and they didn't do it by mistake. So I would say to you that, what do they say? Revert to the mean. I think it's about time this team reverted to the mean.
Yeah. Looking at a few other things, Beck, I know you follow baseball. The Texas Rangers on the cusp of their first ever World Series victory. Do you think that do the comeback kids have one more comeback in them, or is this the fat lady will be singing tonight?
Well, it's a baseball, so you never know. You know what? I love what Texas has done. They've been that Cinderella team. They're, what are they, 10-0 on the road in the playoffs? Like 10-0 on the road in the playoffs. Yeah. How do you do that? I know it's baseball. It's not home ice advantage isn't as big a deal, but 10 in a row. So they got something special. They're that special team, man. They're the team that nobody picked. They barely made it in. I recall late in the season, they were playing a series with Seattle, where whoever won that series was going to probably be a wild card, and the other team was going home. So they snuck in the back door, and now they're going to win the World Series maybe. So good for them. I love the story. I like the team. I like the manager. I like what they're doing. Like, they hit the long ball. That Sager, man, he doesn't just hit a home run. He flattens the baseball when he hits a home run. So I've enjoyed watching them. I'll be honest with you, Jay, I didn't watch Texas a lot all year. Who did? But they're a fun team to watch. They win on the long ball. And if they do win tonight, well, hell, I'll be cheering for them.
Yeah, no, hey, that is a fantastic stat that you brought up about their inability to lose. I love saying that, their inability to lose on the road, which is fantastic.
That's
and
crazy.
I will say this. I do find myself in any sport when it's not a team I either loathe, because there are a few teams I'm just like, God, I can't stand them. But the Texas Rangers aren't one of them. And I look and say, man, there's a fan base that you could see. Being a Rangers fan that long, be like, hey, I remember Juan Gonzalez. God, he was one of my favorite players in the 90s, man. The guy hit a ton. And they had some pretty good players over the years, but they came Nolan Ryan. They came close a few times. Julio Franco, one of the greatest stances of all time. Yeah. So
Buddy Bell, a third baseman named Buddy Bell. It was awesome.
So I'm kind of I'm rooting for them. Just and as much, not so much for the players because I don't have any connection to them, but as much as I probably am rooting for their fans, which is why I know this sounds dumb because if you're a fan base, you just want to win, you don't care because there's no guarantees if you lose game 5 that you win game 6 or 7. But part of me would like to have them lose tonight, so then Ranger fans can be in the building when they win the championship in game 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's that. Didn't we just see Texas win game 6 and 7 in Houston?
Yeah. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's no guarantee. So that's why you wouldn't ask for it. But I'm just, for somebody who's not emotionally invested in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Doesn't care if there's an extra, like that would be a fun thing to see.
And I think Arizona won. Did they win game 6 and 7 in Philly?
Yeah, they did.
I think they did. So that's dangerous. I hear what you're saying. You know what? I'm always that guy. Like, I'm not a fan. I'm a journalist that try not to be a fan. I'm a fan of the sports I don't cover. But in hockey, and you might kick me off your show for saying this, but is there a longer suffering fan base than the Leafs? I mean, look, you want your Oilers to win because we're Edmonton and it would be great for our city. I'm not here cheering for them. I'm not waving the pom-poms. I think people know that. But if it's not the Oilers, the Canucks fan base, they've been around since 1970. They've never won a Stanley Cup. We've won 5 in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Right? The Leafs haven't won since the mid-60s. There's no bigger fan base in the world. I'm that guy, Jay. I like to see a fan base rewarded. Those people are bleeding the colors of their team. I mean, bleeding it. And had 0. Look at Buffalo. I'm watching the Sabres play Philly here. Like, they've been in the league as long as Vancouver. They never won a cup. How much would it mean to an old, long, suffering grandpa that's been a season ticket holder since 1970? Are you kidding me? I'd love to see that guy hoist a cup one day.
Yeah, no, totally fair. Spec, have a great day. We will can do a little scouting tonight as the Dallas Stars are in Calgary for Oiler fans who've got the Twitch. It's been 3 days since a game, so you can watch the Flames and the Stars as Dallas won on Monday over Columbus. They'll be in Calgary tonight and then in Edmonton tomorrow. So I'm guessing.
Do we know who's playing goal here for Dallas? Do they get Ottinger in Calgary or do we get him in Edmonton?
You know what? That's a good question. I haven't even looked to
give you something to talk about the next 20 minutes
in goal. Yeah. Well, we'll see who it is. For the Oilers I know they'll say, come on, Gregor doesn't. Yeah. It shouldn't matter who plays goal. If the Oilers play up to their capabilities, then you can't let a hot goalie beat them. I'll say that, right? Part of it, hey, bear down. You got that much skill on offense. I don't care who's the backup. When they're playing their 3rd game in 4 nights, that's a game the Oilers should win tomorrow.
This is a sneaky important game. You know, you got to make this Calgary Heritage thing last.
Yes.
You got to get it through the weekend. You got to get back in this thing, man. They're still in 30th place in the league. They're still got 2 wins to their name. This is still sneaky important. Another loss and a tie against Nashville, and you're right back where you were. So This is time for the Oilers. They're getting a second chance here, and I'm not telling you there's going to be a third. So they got to get after it. I think they will. I think they can. But don't let this off the hook. This is an important game here.
Thanks, Spec. Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
That is Mark Spector doing this every day right here on Sports 1440, presented by GS Construction. 521. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. Coming up on the program, a big trade. We'll talk about that. We got more text to get to in our Jiffy Lube inbox on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
No project too difficult. No problem too complex for Action Electrical. Edmonton's leading electrical contractor is a family-run business since 1973 and proud to offer complete commercial electrical services of the highest quality. When you need a contractor to design, build, implement, and maintain complex systems or emergency electrical assistance, help is here with the professionals. Book a service call at actionelectrical.net today. That's actionelectrical.net.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly here from United Sport and Cycle. Christmas is just around the corner, and we've got everything for the athlete and sports fan on your list, including United gift cards. United Sport and Cycle, your Santa's workshop for over 95 years.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Some things just work together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf. Your love for the game and Papa John's passion for better ingredients, better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. That's SPORTS20.
Are you ready? If you're a member of Vision Credit Union, it's time to get your share of the profits. Join us at your local branch this Friday for Member Appreciation Day. We'll be returning millions in profit shares to our members via account deposit or check. If you're a Vision member, get ready to enjoy your annual cash payout. Not a member? Find out how to get your share of the profits with Vision Credit Union. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Does anyone buy an RV in the fall? I mean, why would you go to all the trouble to find just the right one when you can't enjoy it until the spring? Only someone like Rick Showers from Noble RV would know the answer. Ain't that right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. You'd be surprised how many people buy their RV from us in the fall. It's a buyer's market. The people who sell their RVs with us are often a little more motivated to sell this time of year. And that means a better deal for you. And when you buy your quality used RV from No Bull now, I cover the cost of storage and winterization for the coming winter, so you can pick it up in the spring, ready to roll, without paying an extra cent.
Winterization and storage? That can cost quite a bit, Rick.
Not when you come to No Bull. Our inventory is constantly changing. Something we have today, we might not have in the spring. So the best time to find the RV that's right for you is anytime.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We've continued developing tools and are excited to announce our newest design, the battery-powered nut runners. 4 models from 500 to 3,000 foot-pounds with more on the way. Learn more at cantork.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
I wanna put on my boogie shoes. Let's put it with you. I wanna do till the sun comes up. Oh yeah. I wanna do till I can't get enough. Yeah.
5:26, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you. We've got Jeff Skinner thinking the Sabres are maybe going to get rolling here a little bit. Good start for him and Buffalo as they are leading Philadelphia by a score of 2-1. Skinner with a goal and an assist. Farabee has his 5th. He scored in the first minute of the game tonight for Philadelphia. The only other game tonight has there's 4 games. There's Calgary and Dallas, then St. Louis, Colorado. And a game here, honestly, if you have the NHL Network, I'm not even joking, Arizona, Anaheim, that's actually appealing game from an entertainment standpoint. Both teams have been playing quite fast this year. The Ducks look like a completely different team under Cronin. Completely different team. Like, they play hard, they play fast, they got a little fire in them. Their coach is getting kicked out of games. Like, when was the last time you saw a coach kicked out of the game? Although I thought he had a legit beef, man. I thought that review on goalie interference was pretty weak. Pretty weak, in my opinion. So we'll see. Anyway, let's get to the NBA report brought to you by Legacy Cooling and heating home with the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Don't wait till it conks out. Plan ahead. Get one now at legacyheating.ca. As we are joined by Paul Sir once again, of course, former pro player and coach for many years in Europe. And Paul, as a gentleman who's wearing a beard, the beard got traded again. And now he's going to the Clippers. And I just wonder, like, how is it going to be different? Do you think this is going to work with him in LA?
Well, why would it? But why wouldn't you take the chance that it might? This reminds me of Masai Ujiri rolling the dice with Kawhi Leonard, but what I would call bizarro world Kawhi Leonard, of the guy who you'd have no idea if he's going to like where he's at, if he's going to show up to play, is he in shape? I have no idea what he's going to do, but I know what the Clippers are thinking. They've got a window. They've got two superstars, aging, injury prone. So they bring in a disgruntled but highly talented, most likely future Hall of Famer, bringing in and seeing if they can be the one, the franchise that figures it out.
So what do they do with Westbrook here? Do they just get rid of him? That's what I don't understand.
Isn't that interesting to have a former MVP, a guy who averaged 2 consecutive years, average a triple-double, and you're using the expression I think most people use with him, Jason. Should we just get rid of him? Let's just get him out of here. It's just crazy to think that Russell Westbrook is such an enigma that you would bring him in and your first response is, well, I guess we got to just move him again. And and try to get whatever we can for him and clear the way for Harden to do what Harden does. But that very well could be the case.
Yeah, because I just don't see how it works, right, with them. Do you?
I don't know how Westbrook works with anybody. It's just he's just such an odd fit, an absolute square peg in the basketball round hole of trying to find a way for this guy to be effective on your team. Individually, still, he has magic runs and magic moments, but his shot selection is always questionable. He can't shoot the three with any kind of consistency, and he has never met a shot he didn't like. And if the shot's even close to being there, he's going to take it. So, I think to your point, Jason, they're going to probably do everything they can to move him out of the way. So there's even less locker room drama and just try to let the big three go on that team.
Looking at the Raptors, they're 1-3 to start, although they're off to a great start tonight against Milwaukee. But it's only 10 minutes into the game, and but they've only missed 2 shots. They're OG Anunoby, Siakam, Podol, and Barnes are shooting 11 of 13, which is pretty good. But Gary Trent Jr. coming off the bench now. Do you like this formation, this starting 5 of the Raptors better? I know the record doesn't say they're great, and I don't think the team's that good, to be honest. But what do you make early on of what you've seen from this new Raptor team?
When we talked last week, I think what I feel now is the same as I felt last week, which is this is just an odd combination of players with similar skill sets at a variety of positions. So finding a way to get this team to function efficiently and work well together, I think is a huge challenge because it's just so different. They shoot the ball poorly. Like you said, they're 11 for 13 so far, but they had a pretty good lead against Portland the other night and weren't able to hold on to it. This is a team with a very weak bench. So top 6, they have a lot of talent, not championship caliber talent, but talent. Beyond that, very weak, no depth. I don't think anybody feels they have good depth on this team. So I think they've got their work cut out for them. And what the big question mark to me, Jason, is how are they going to get the most out of Pascal Siakam in this lineup? He's in a contract year. Is this the perfect time for the Raptors to try to make a deal for him and get some value for him? Because I can't see him being happy after another year where his role may very well be diminished. So it's it's a team that I really have no sense for. I think they're going to win some games. I think they're a borderline playoff team, but they're certainly not in any position to make what I would call a serious run at a division title in the way they're configured, at least. And it's early. I just don't see the chemistry evolving out of this mix of players.
And that's fair, Paul Sergio. And just the big one for me is like, now I know it's early and this is only early in this game, but shooting's been an issue now in Toronto for a while, right? And I'm not sure that the guys they brought in are going to make them that much better of a shooter. Now, maybe they're going to have better shot selection. Maybe they're not going to be as fatigued as much. We'll see. But, like, it's not like suddenly they've expanded their bench a whole lot through the first 4 games.
Well, the young guy, Grady Dick, I think he's the guy that if they're going to improve their shooting dramatically, he's going to have to get minutes, and he's going to have to get good minutes early. Okay. What concerns me is like if they're going to try to nursemaid him in, there's a lot of players that you just have to put in and he's an older player. You just have to let him get out there and you have to go with him. If you believe this guy is the answer, I mean, he's got size. He's already demonstrated he can shoot it. You've got to make him one of your top 7 and give him 15 to 25 minutes a game, in my opinion, and live with the results, because he could be that guy to address the issue you just defined, Jason. They are not a good shooting team, and he's a good shooter. So find a way to get him good shots.
As a coach, can you just draw plays up for him? What's the best way to get him shots?
You can draw up quick hits for him and run him off screens, a la Golden State and what they do for Curry and Thompson. The problem I think that the Raptors have is they're not that kind of team right now, and they don't play that way. But maybe that's where the new coach has to adapt and run some sets for this young guy. But I also think because they have good penetrators in Schroeder and Scotty Barnes and Siakam, they can get into the middle and they can create space. If Dick can space the court out, they should be able to kick it out to him for some shots too. And as well, corner threes in some ball movements and rotations. You should be able to get him a corner 3 or 2 in a game as well. There's no reason a player like him can't get 6 to 10 shots a game if it's a point of emphasis. And that, I think, is going to be the challenge for the Raptors, is where are they going to emphasize getting their shots from? Are they going to be a one-on-one team, or are they going to integrate some more ball movement, some more sets, some more screening in order to free people up? I'm a big fan of that, Jason, to be honest. I think there's way too much one-on-one stuff in the NBA, and I think the Raptors are particularly guilty of this. Whereas I think if you mix it up like the Warriors do, you become a much better team that takes advantage of the type of talent that you have. And I don't think the Raptors always do that.
Paul Sergio. Paul, let's go locally, of course, because CIS starts up this weekend in basketball for the Pandas. Well, the Bears for sure, and the Pandas. What's your expectations for those two basketball teams?
They should be good. The Bears barely lost to Carleton, barely lost to UVic. UVic beat Carleton by 25. It's preseason. They've got a good core of fifth-year players that I think are as good as any threesome in Canada West, certainly, and among the best in youth sports. Problem is depth. They lost a couple of good players at the last minute, one that decided to go to prep school instead of going to the U of A. And I know that hurts them in their depth. I think they'll be good. Whether they'll be national contender good with the lack of depth that they have, I don't know. Pandas should also be good. They lost a lot of firepower last year, but Scott Edwards, as he usually does, had a good recruiting class. He's got some good underclassmen. So I think it looks real good for the Bears and the Pandas to be highly competitive this year. And they get started this weekend with the University of Saskatchewan. So let's hope the local fans get out there and support both teams.
What about McEwen?
That's tough. That's tough. They just men's program is systemically weak. Unfortunately, they're going to have to just demonstrate that they can win games. They've had a couple of real bad seasons. Hopefully, Mike Connolly has been able to shore up his lineup. Catherine Adams with the women's, they were in a lot of games last year. They have almost everybody back. I think they'll be better this year. I don't think either team will be a threat to finish in the upper echelon, but if both teams can show improvement, that certainly would be a good building block for both programs.
Paul, as always, my man, great to talk to you. We will chat with you again next week. Have a good one.
You too, Jason. Thanks so much.
That's Paul Sir joining us. Of course, longtime basketball coach and player in Europe. Does so much for the basketball community here. Of course, heavily involved with 3x3 as well. 537, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. We'll return. We got some numbers to discuss. Sam Gagner, probably hear from him. Maybe, of course, he's back in Edmonton. And just, he's excited to get back, right? Wants to contribute. I think he knows what his role is in the bottom six. I don't have massive expectations of him. You know, people say, hey, it can be better than Adam Murray. Well, you know what? If you're 2-3% better at any position, your team gets better. So I do think Sam Gagner has a better track record of being able to finish. I don't think he's going to add, physicality in that regard. Although I will say this about Gagner. Like, Gagner has shown, you know what? If he gets mad, he'll fight guys. He doesn't care. Right? He's not worried in that regard. So I think he knows what he needs to do. The big question for him was the double hip surgery. How's he feeling? He says he feels great. He says that, he has no pain. His mobility's better. So we'll be interested to see, how he looks. So you got to think he's going to be fired up, man. I don't care. This will be game 1016 for Sam Gagner, but he's back for his third tour of duty, which I know Ryan Smith came back, right? How many other players have had, has anybody else had Marty McSorley? Anybody else have 3 tours where they played, came back? Anybody else that you can think of, Order fans? Let me know. Rexy Ruotsalainen, I got to go back in the 80s and look at his because I know he left and he came back. We'll see. I'm trying to think if anybody's had 3. So we'll find out next. The Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Rodeo clowning felt like an exciting opportunity. Boy, was I ever wrong. The bulls. So predictable. But you know what's exciting and unpredictable? PlayAlberta.ca. I can bet on any sports game, play online casino games anytime, and buy lottery tickets anywhere.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today and get over $100 in welcome bonuses. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
This is a commercial for Corporate Business Solutions.
Corporate Business Solutions, aka CBS. That's also known as CBS.
As I was saying, Corporate Business Solutions empowers any business to become more efficient and profitable with office machine technology that really works.
That's why they're the #1 Konica Minolta authorized dealer in all of Western Canada.
Well, why don't you just read the next line?
Sure. Corporate Business Solutions. Local service, local support, local always.
Visit cbsca.com.
Any team looking to trade up is wise to wait for the right conditions. Right now at Volvo Cars Edmonton, they've got some exceptional offers to help move the remaining 2023 inventory. So whether your team wants to head to the game in the sporty XC60 or the spacious XC90, you'll get up to $5,000 off or finance rates from 2.49%. Volvo Cars Edmonton is Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Visit 1205 101st Street Southwest or chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
for furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Action Electrical is expanding throughout Alberta. With the recent acquisition of Big Hill Electrical Services in Cochrane, Action Electrical is the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta. What does this mean for Action Electrical and Big Hill Electrical Services? It means that they are able to support their clientele all over Alberta with the same high level of professionalism and integrity. From conception to completion and beyond, throughout Alberta, contact
The professionals
at actionelectrical.net today. That's actionelectrical.net.
Looking to tackle your backyard projects with power and precision this fall? Look no further than Kubota compact tractors. Experience the perfect blend of compact size and unbeatable value with Kubota. Right now, take advantage of financing as low as 0% for up to 84 months and save up to $1,500 on select models. Plus, as the temperature drops, get ready for Alberta winters with confidence with Kubota Performance Match snowblowers, sweeper, and blades. Visit Edmonton Kubota today for details.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
There's nothing like having a little skin in the game to make things interesting. But when a little skin becomes more than you can afford to lose, it's time to take a break from sports betting. Set a budget and stick to it. If you gamble, use your game sense.
There's a fire starting.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, the clear choice for all your auto, residential, and commercial glass. Call 310 Glass or book now at crystalglass.ca.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it.
5:43. We've had a lot of questions. Reached out to an NHL capologist. I want to read what his answer was, because I asked about Vegas in this trade with Ottawa. Right. So when they make the trade, people are like, well, wouldn't Vegas have known? It says the capologist said to me that you are aware of the language in the contract regarding a list, but you aren't aware of the teams on the list or if the player properly filed the list with the team at the noted time/deadline. So when it's in July, right, the player has to submit his list. Usually it's in the offseason. Usually it comes by May 31st. That's usually what it is. Not always. Usually that's what it is, because that's for the upcoming start of the season, right? Like the upcoming start of the season always starts July 1st. That's when the next year the contract begins. So Vegas, by this, would have at least known there was a no trade clause, like a limited no trade clause. They wouldn't know what teams are on it. But then when they ask, so that's why, I don't know, I'm not excusing Ottawa by any stretch of the imagination here. The lack of transparency from the NHL on this is mind-blowing, especially when you consider that they weren't really transparent with the new owner of the Ottawa Senators. Funny. So, you know what? During the break, we were looking up guys who I've found a lot of players who had 2 tours of duty. And we'll get to the In the Room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 50 years in business. They are one of the most diversified electrical contractors in all of Alberta. They got 4 divisions in projects, service, TAG, and energy and solar. Check it out, actionelectrical.net. And in the orders room, when you think about 2 tours of duty, Rexy Riittalainen, right? He won a cup in 87, then he came back, won a cup again in 1990. You had Ryan Smith, Mike Comrie. Remember Mike Comrie? And remember, he came back that year. He had 13 goals, 21 points in 43 games, and was kind of beloved by the fans. I remember that preseason tilt, and people are cheering him. It was kind of like, you know what? Here's one of ours. He was a local guy, and then we didn't like him, and now we forgive, and everything's forgotten, and it's made up. And I really think that meant a lot to Mike, having talked to him about it. That was a big moment for him, for sure. Being a kid from this area, it was nice to kind of be received by his own again. Marty Reisner was somebody who else was texting him. Glenn Anderson, Kevin Lowe, but I've yet to find a player, and I'm not talking going up and down in the minors. That doesn't count. I'm talking a player who left the organization, went to play another organization, then came back. And this tomorrow night will be Sam Gagner's 3rd tour of duty with the Edmonton Oilers. And hey, talked about it. He's back. It's a place he knows well.
Welcome back. I mean, you weren't gone that long, but still nice to be back so soon in the season.
Yeah, definitely.
this is where you want to be. And I'm feeling good. I think it's nice to play some games, get back to just playing hockey. And I'm excited to get going here.
How'd your hips feel?
Really good. Played 3 games, 2 of them on a back-to-back, and played a good amount of minutes. And they held up really well. I'm really happy with how it's come along. It was more just kind of getting my timing back and getting the feeling of playing in games, but the hips feel great and I'm excited to go.
Was there a limitation as far as, speed or mobility before you had them done? Do you feel it? Like, are you quicker? Are you more mobile? Would you feel it different at all?
Yeah, I'm definitely more mobile. Not having to deal with pain is, something that's really helpful. I think, when you go through your training, your summer training, and then even just, being able to stay on the ice late and work on things and work on your speed, it just becomes more and more difficult. So, I'm really happy with how they feel, and now it's just a matter of going out there and playing as hard as I can and helping this team win some games.
Jay referenced yesterday, and I think it's a bit of a story for the team. They need some scoring from other forwards besides the top guys. I mean, do you look that you got to do that or help some other guys get some mojo going?
Well, yeah, it's always kind of been a part of my game, trying to create offensive chances, having some poise with the puck and making plays. Ultimately, I think you have to play hard at both ends of the rink, do your best to be solid defensively and not give up anything. And then, when you have the opportunity, you got to try and create some chances. I think, whether it goes in or not, it's just an opportunity for your team to gain momentum and, help the other lines coming on the ice by, playing in the O-zone. And, it's something I'm going to, try and focus on is creating and getting to the net and, doing my best to help in kind of any area that's called upon.
Are you more comfortable at this stage of your career, center or wing? Does it matter to you?
Yeah, I've played both. Even the last couple of games in the minors, we had 11 forwards, so I played a little bit of both. And I'm comfortable in either position. I think it's a benefit having played so much in both positions and throughout a season and playing in a bunch of different roles that you just kind of learn to adjust and roll with the flow. And I'm comfortable in either one.
So we'll see. They didn't really run lines today. They had 11 forwards. Janmark wasn't on the ice. Don't expect him to play, so it'll be 11-7 tomorrow. They had 6 forwards in blue jerseys and then 5 in white. The 5 in white, though, were all guys that will be in your top 6. McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Kane, and Hyman. So somebody's going to play with them. The blue ones, though, were Holloway, Brown, Fogle, Ryan, Gagne, and McLeod. Now, last game, and to me, why would you change anything from last game? Like, why would you change it? You just played your best game of the year. I'm putting Warren Fogle with Draisaitl and McDavid to start the game. I'm putting Kane, Hyman, and Nugent Hopkins. That was probably the Oilers' best line. There's no reason to change it. Right? You're top 6 for sure. If you want to fiddle around with the bottom 6 because nothing's going, no problem. But Brown's your third line right winger. So then there's McLeod, who was, and last time they had McLeod on the fourth line. And so maybe it's McLeod with some speed with, maybe you have Gagne down there. I don't know, because now you have, Brown, Ryan, and Gagne, 3 right shots. I guess Gagne can play center. Ryan's the right winger. And you can do that. Right. And then just rotate someone down. Or maybe you just have Gagne play on the left wing. Not the end of the world. So I could see having Brown and Holloway, and then they rotated McDavid or Draisaitl on that line. I don't mind that, actually. I'd probably prefer that than have them play with Gagne and Ryan if it's me. And then I would have McLeod as the fourth line center. I think that kind of makes sense. Doesn't it for you, Connor? Like, to me, like, I think Brown's played better. So, Ryan McLeod's kind of struggling right now. So, add some speed to the fourth line. If McLeod's there and he plays, I guess it's Ryan and Gagne. It's not a deal because you got 2 right wingers, but so what? You can figure it out.
Yeah, they can adapt, and I'm with you. I mean, I got a chance, thanks to you, got to sit nice and low last Thursday, and even though it was in the Oilers' loss, I thought Connor Brown did some good things. He was active. He's kind of finding his legs. He's going to find his touch at some point and start to contribute. Yeah, I am interested to see how the bottom six kind of changes with the addition of Sam Gagner and what he can do, but also looking forward to it. Like Sam Gagner, he's a likable guy. You want to see the best for him, and he's going to be taking advantage of every opportunity. And I remember him coming into the league at a very young age and just kind of being very wise, saying, you got to make an impact one way or another. If it's not scoring goals, you got to do something else to make sure people notice you every night out there. So I think Sam Gagner has kind of carried that throughout the entirety of his career. Like you said, at times, if need to, he will drop the mitts and he can have that aspect of his game as well. So I think you're going to see a guy who's going to be fired up to get back to the NHL level, especially with what he's gone through, the journey back to the NHL after the surgeries, having to play in the AHL. Really looking forward to see what he does tomorrow night.
Well, I think he's going to get a big round of applause. Sam Gagner, he's been a pretty big fan favorite for long years because, he was kind of the start of the decade of darkness, right? And I think some fans feel like, there's a connection there. Remember Sam Gagner fighting Kessler, and the fans loved that one, right? And then also they grimaced when he fought Boschman. He was pissed afterwards because no one told him Boschman was a lefty. That's what I remember most about that one. He was kind of, what? I should have known that because Boschman kind of fed him his lunch a little bit. He was tough. He knew how to chuck him. But I remember Gagner as a young guy fighting Kessler, and Oilers fans just loved it. And how could you not? Kessler was one of those guys that opposing fan bases hated. So it was a good way to get in the good books for sure. We'll find out tomorrow. We are thinking David Perron, we know, has done 3 tours of duty with one team. Trying to think of other guys around the league because I can't think of an Oiler one. I'll look it up tonight, and so we'll find out tomorrow on the show if there's anybody who's had 3 tours of duty like Sam Gagner will tomorrow night with the Edmonton Oilers. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. You could watch the World Series be handed out tonight. It's always exciting, man. Somebody's dream's going to come true. I always find it fun to watch those type of events. On behalf of Connor Halley, I am Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday evening. Let's get to Sports 1440 Final Sports Update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. Remember, once the weather hits 7 degrees for 7 days, it's a good time to get your tire change. Head to fountaintire.com. Check out their winter tire lineup and all the brand offerings they have. Fountaintire.com. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
4 games in NHL tonight. After 20 minutes, Flyers and Sabres tied at 2 apiece. Later tonight, the Stars are in Calgary taking on the Flames. Avs host the Blues, and the Coyotes travel to Anaheim to take on the Ducks. That one will get going at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. It's Game 5 of the World Series tonight. The Rangers looking to wrap it all up, leading the Diamondbacks 3-1. First pitch about 10 minutes away in the association. The Raptors are in action. Right now, they lead the Milwaukee Bucks 44-26 with 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter. You've also got the Wizards up on the Hawks 21-19, and the Pistons lead the Trailblazers 48-34 in the second quarter. Still to come tonight, the Hornets in Houston. Timberwolves welcome the Denver Nuggets to town. Bulls take on the Mavs. Jazz host the Grizz. Lakers battle the Clippers, and it's the Warriors taking on the Kings. One game in the AJ tonight is Whitecourt hosts Grand Prairie. That one starts at 7 o'clock. Some sad news is longtime collegiate coach Bob Knight passing away at the age of 83. And some news out of the WHL. The league will make neck protection mandatory starting on Friday. Coming up tonight on Sports 1440, starting at 9, we've got Fox Sports Radio, and Kevin Carius returns tomorrow morning with Brandon Douglas at 7 a.m. with guest host Laddie Schmid. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio